किशोर मंच एक खुला मंच है, आए जब भी चाहे। किशोर मंच एक खुला मंच है, आए जब भी चाहे। हर किशोर को मिलेगा अवसर, खुलती जाए राहें। आए जब भी चाहे, आए जब भी चाहे, आए जब भी चाहे, आए जब भी चाहे। हो कला सामाजिक ज्ञान, भाषा गणित या हो विज्ञान, कठिन नहीं है विषय कोई भी, करो जरा सा ध्यान। हो कला सामाजिक ज्ञान, भाषा गणित या हो विज्ञान, कठिन नहीं है विषय कोई भी, करो जरा सा ध्यान।
ये है
किशोर मंच।
Welcome students. Today we will be continuing with chapter 6 as done in the last class, that is cash flow statement. In the last class we have discussed cash from operating activity, and today we will be discussing investing, financing and some important points along with full-fledged questions. So, let us start with format of cash from investing activity. Now, investing activity means dealing with all these assets, investment and all that. So, if we are selling any asset or investment, the cash is coming in. If we are purchasing the asset or investment, the cash is going out. Similarly, if we are receiving any interest, rent, dividend, etc., this is all return on our investment. So, it will be added and we will take a total which we can say B. Then format of financing activity, in which we are dealing with finance part of the company, that is issue of shares or debentures, money coming in, taking of loan and mortgage loan, money coming in. Similarly, redemption of preference share and debentures, the money flowing out, and interest dividend paid on all these financing part is money going out. So, then we will arrive at the total C part. At the end, we will make a total of A, B and C to arrive at cash and cash equivalent for the year, in which we will add opening balance of the cash and cash equivalent, and then we will arrive at closing balance of cash and cash equivalent. In this way, we can verify it from the question itself, because the opening balance of cash and cash equivalent as well as closing balance is given in the balance sheet. So, we can verify our solution from there also. Now, let us focus our discussion on some key issues relating to cash flow statement. To begin with operating activity first. In case of indirect method, we start with net profit or loss for the period. Since P&L account is prepared on accrual basis and not on cash basis, we have to adjust all non-cash items like depreciation, goodwill, etc. written off. As we have to calculate cash from operating activity, so we have also to adjust non-operating items like interest paid, profit or loss on sale of fixed asset, proposed dividend, etc. And one very important point. When we start with net profit, it means profit before tax, which again means it is before transfer to general reserve and proposed dividend also, because these are all done after taxes are paid. These are items of P&L appropriation. So, these have to be adjusted back in order to get net profit before interest and tax. Once we have arrived at cash flow after operating activity, then we have to adjust it for working capital changes, that is adjustment for all current asset and current liability. Now, decrease in current asset is to be added because cash is coming in. How? Let us take an example. If debtors decreased, that means cash is received from debtors. Take another example. If the stock is decreased, that means we have sold stock, which again means cash is coming in. So, let us learn one basic mantra for current asset and current liability, that is any change in current asset or current liability, if cash comes, add, if cash goes, deduct. Let us take an example of current liability also. If the creditors are decreasing, that means cash is paid to creditor. So, it should be deducted as cash goes out. Similarly, if bill payables are decreasing, that means cash is going out. Now, after all these adjustment of working capital, we have to adjust for extraordinary items. Now, what are extraordinary items? They are those items which are not part of day to day ordinary activities. These are claims, damages, compensations. If received, you add them, and if paid, deduct them. And after all this, in the end, we have to deduct tax paid, as it is also part of operating activity and the money is going out. So, it has to be deducted to get cash from operating activity. Let us start with some basic questions first. Start identifying the following activities, whether they are operating, investing or financing. What is cash sale and purchase? Yes, it is an operating activity. When I will tell the activity, I will pause for a second, you think, and then I will start with the answer. Let us take the second point, cash and bank balance. Yes, it is cash and cash equivalent. Dividend paid, financing activity. Income tax refunds, yes, it is an operating activity. Short term bank deposit, again a cash equivalent. Buyback of equity share, very important, financing activity. Royalty received, yes, operating activity. Sale of shares by a financing company, yes, that is operating. Dividend received by a non-finance company, it is an investing activity. I would like to mention, if dividend is received by a financing company, it will be an operating activity. Discount offered to customers or received from suppliers, yes, it is an operating activity. Purchase of goodwill, it is an investing activity, and purchase of asset by issuing shares, it has no effect on cash flow, because one asset is coming fixed asset and shares are going fixed liability. There is no change in the cash part. So, no effect. Let us start with another question. State whether the following transactions will result in inflow, outflow or have no effect. Let us see the transaction. Issue of bonus share. This is not going to have any effect, because it is just capitalization of profit. Next, cash deposited in bank, again no effect, because one cash equivalent is affected and another cash equivalent is affected. So, there is no change in the end. Third point, purchase of inventory, it will be an outflow of cash, because cash is going out. Sale of investment worth rupees 10,000 for 8,000. 8,000 is the inflow in investing activity and the loss 2,000 will be added in operating activity. Dividend paid, it is an outflow. Cash withdrawal from bank, it has no effect. Again, both cash equivalent part are being affected. Decrease in bill receivable, yes, it is an inflow. As I already told you, decrease in current asset is an inflow. How? When bill receivables is decreasing, that means cash is coming in, right. Increase in outstanding expenses, very important item, it is again an inflow. Now, some people can say how expenses are increasing and it is an inflow. See, we have not paid for the expenses, but we have taken the benefit, we have received the benefit without paying. So, that means it is an inflow. Redemption of preference shares at a premium, say 1 lakh preference share plus 5,000 premium. So, outflow is 1 lakh 5,000 in financing activity and that 5,000 premium on redemption will be taken in the operating activity added back because it is a non-operating activity. Purchase of building against debenture, again that has no effect because fixed asset is coming in and debentures are being issued. So, there is no cash involved in that. So, it has no effect. Now, let us concentrate our discussion on how to ascertain the missing figures for cash flow. Let us concentrate here on 4 commonly asked adjustment accounts. The first one is provision for taxation. In this, opening balance and closing balance are given in the question, and sometime we are given provision for the year, then we get cash paid, and if we are given tax paid, then we get what provision we have made. So, let us see the format. Please see, provision for taxation, opening balance on the credit side A and closing balance on the debit side B. If we are given provision for the year, that will be written on the credit side by profit and loss account, that is provision for the year C part, and then we will get D part, that is tax paid on the debit side as a balancing figure. Now, this tax paid will be deducted from operating activity in the end, and the point of profit and loss provision for the year will be added in operating activity in non-cash items. So, either C or D will be given and the other figure can be calculated very easily. Next, on the same line, proposed dividend account is also made. Let us see the format of proposed dividend. Opening balance, yes, on the credit side A part, closing balance on the debit side, that is B part. And if you are given by P&L appropriation, that is the profit appropriated for dividend on the credit side C part, then you can get D part, that is dividend paid on the debit side. This dividend paid will be deducted from financing activity and the appropriation part will be added to arrive at net profit before tax. Please remember, if it has not been deducted from that net profit, we will not add back, but if it has been deducted, we will add back. Another very important adjustment is related to fixed asset. Now, this can be given at cost or net value with accumulated depreciation account and fixed asset disposal account. Let us see one by one. Fixed asset at cost. Opening balance we start on the debit side A part and closing balance we write on the credit side B part. Now, if some fixed asset is sold, we will write on the credit side by fixed asset disposal account. Please remember, it should be at cost. Fixed asset disposal at cost. C part, and then you can arrive at D part on the debit side, that is if any asset has been purchased to bank as a balancing figure. Now, this purchase of asset will go in investing activity and it will be deducted from there. Now, we have to transfer this fixed asset disposal account on the debit side of fixed assets sold account, where we will write to fixed asset. Similarly, in accumulated depreciation account, we start with opening balance on the credit side, point number 1, closing balance on the debit side, point number 2, and the third point is whatever fixed asset has been sold, there must be some depreciation on that, and now it has gone outside the business. So, on the debit side we will write to fixed asset disposal, that is depreciation on sold asset, which will be transferred to credit side of fixed asset sold, because every entry has two aspects, one debit and one credit. If it is coming on the debit side of depreciation account, it will come on the credit side of fixed assets sold. Similarly, whatever amount you have received by selling this asset will be taken on the credit side of fixed assets sold account, that is by cash, and it will be added in investing activity. And if there is a loss, it will be on the credit side by P&L account, loss added in operating activity, and if there is a profit, it will be shown on the debit side to P&L account, and that will be deducted from operating activity. So, students, today we have discussed some basic questions and 2-3 important adjustment. In the next class, we will be continuing with fixed asset at net value along with investment and some important questions. Till then, goodbye and thank you. Welcome students. Once again we will start with chapter 6 again, cash flow statement, continuing from the last class where we have ended. Now we will start with investment sale purchase and asset account at net value and the questions to follow. So, let us start. Investment sale or purchase can also be dealt in a similar way by making an account, as we will see in the questions to follow. But profit or loss will again be adjusted in operating activity. If there is a profit on sale, it will be deducted from operating activity, and if there is a loss on sale, it will be added back in operating activity, and the amount received from sale of investment will be added in investing activity, and the amount paid for investment will be also deducted in investing activity. Now, if fixed asset is made at net value, then we will also show depreciation on the credit side, because we can reach the net figures only after depreciation. The format will look like as follows. See the format. Fixed asset at net value. We start with opening balance on the debit side and the closing balance on the credit side. Now, if some asset is sold, we will show it on the credit side by bank sale. This will be added in investing activity, and if there is a loss, it will be also shown on the credit side by profit and loss account, loss added in operating activity. And one very important point, we will also show depreciation for the year on the credit side, because it is a net method, and it will be added in operating activity. And if there is any balancing figure on the debit side, it will come as two bank purchase, that is taken in investing activity as a deduction, because we have purchased an asset and the money is flowing out. So, you can see the difference in cost and net value. In the cost method, we were not shown depreciation on the credit side, but in the net method we are showing depreciation on the credit side. So, this is the basic difference. Now, let us examine few questions on these above important adjustments. To start with, the fixed asset at cost. Let us see the question. Suppose we are given plant and machinery at cost 2 lakh and 3,50,000 in two different years, that is 2010 2 lakh and 2011 3,50,000. Accumulated depreciation in 2010 70,000 and in 2011 95,000. Another adjustment is given. During the year, a plant costing 70,000 with accumulated depreciation 25,000 is sold for 60,000. Make account to show all the adjustment and their effect. Let us start with the solution. Plant and machinery at cost. We start with opening balance on the debit side 2 lakh and the closing balance on the credit side 3,50,000. Now, on the credit side we will write by plant sold 70,000. Please remember, we have to show cost and this will be transferred to plant sold account debit side, that is to plant 70,000. Similarly, accumulated depreciation account starts with an opening balance of 70,000 on the credit side and closing balance 95,000 on the debit side. Now, 25,000 accumulated depreciation is on sold item. So, it will be transferred from accumulated depreciation debit side to the credit side of plant sold account by the name to plant sold and in plant sold account by accumulated depreciation. Now, in plant sold account we will write by bank, that is the sale part 60,000. So, now we are getting a profit of 15,000 which will be deducted from operating activity, and that sale part will be shown in the investing activity as an addition. Similarly, in the accumulated depreciation account we will get a balancing figure on the credit side, and this is depreciation for the year 50,000 which will be transferred to operating activity and added there as non-cash item. And in plant and machinery cost account, we are getting a balancing figure on the debit side to bank 2,20,000 which is purchase of asset and it will be deducted from investing activity. Now, let us examine a question on the net method also. Read the question. Building net value 10 lakh in 2009, 7 lakh in 2010. During the year, a building with book value 8 lakh sold for 9 lakh and depreciation during the year is 2 lakh. When we will make the building account at net value, we will start with the opening balance 10 lakh on the debit side and closing balance on the credit side 7 lakh. Now, what amount has been sold? It is 9 lakh. So, we will write by cash 9 lakh on the credit side and by depreciation 2 lakh on the credit side. Now, please remember 8 lakh rupees building has been sold for 9 lakh. So, there is a profit of 1 lakh which will be shown on the debit side of building under the head to profit and loss profit, and you will get a balancing figure to bank 7 lakh as purchase. Now, what will we do with all these items? Rupees 1 lakh profit will be deducted from operating activity. 9 lakh sale will be shown as addition to the investing activity. 7 lakh purchase will be shown as deduction from investing activity, whereas depreciation of 2 lakh will be added in operating activity. Now, let us start with a question on provision for tax. This is a very important adjustment and generally come in the exams. Let us start with the question. Provision for taxation, opening figure 50,000 for 2012 and 70,000 for 2013. During the year 60,000 tax provision was made. Let us start with the solution part. Make an account provision for tax. On the credit side, start with the opening balance 50,000 and on the debit side write the closing balance 70,000. Now, this provision for tax 60,000 will be shown on the credit side as by P&L account 60,000, which will be added in operating activity again, being a non-cash item. And on the debit side, you will get to bank as a balancing figure 40,000, that is tax paid, which will again be deducted from operating activity in the end. Now, let us see some other important points and observation before going to the full and final question. Point number 1. Income tax paid is shown as deduction from operating activity, but net of refund, because refund is what you are getting from income tax and income tax paid is what you are paying to them. So, both should be adjusted and then it should be shown as a deduction or as a receipt. Next point, dividend paid is always a part of financing activity, may be financing company, may be non-financing company, but dividend received is an operating income for financing company, whereas it is an investing income for all other companies, right. Next point, if security premium reserve is utilized for writing off discount on issue, underwriting commission, preliminary expenses, etc., no adjustment is required, because premium is reduced and preliminary expenses is also reduced. You know, as per revised schedule 6, now these items are not shown in the account. I will come to it after some time. According to the revised schedule 6, miscellaneous expenses, discount on issue, preliminary expenses are either written off from security premium account or debited to statement of P&L account. Now, if they are not appearing in the balance sheet, that means you do not have to do anything. So, nothing is required for their treatment, but if they are appearing maybe in the old format questions or in the new format as a detail, then they should be treated as follows. If they are decreasing, age should be added in operating activity, that is the amount written off, and if underwriting commission is increasing, then it is deducted from financing activity, because you have paid that commission for your issue of share. Similarly, if discount on issue of share is also increasing, it means we have issued shares on discount, which shall be deducted from the proceeds of issue of share, and net amount should be shown in the financing activity. That is, if the shares are of rupees 100 and 10 rupees has been allowed as discount, so we will take 90 rupees in the financing activity. Next, point number 5 is an observation for security premium reserve account. Any increase in security premium reserve means we have issued our shares at premium, so it is added and shown in the financing activity, and any decrease means it has been utilized for writing off miscellaneous expenses, discount on issue of share, etc., and as I told you, nothing to be done then. Next point, dividend received by a financing company is an operating activity, whereas it will be an investing activity for all other companies. Now, let us examine a full-fledged question on cash flow with adjustments in detail. So, let us start with the question. Equity and liabilities, first point, shareholder funds, share capital, that is 10 lakh in 2012 and 12 lakh in 2013. That means we have issued the shares of 2 lakh rupees. Next, reserve and surplus. Statement of P&L is given 20,000 negative in 2012 and 1,24,000 as positive in 2013. That means we must have earned so much money which has written off 20,000 and still there is 1,24,000. That means 1,44,000 is the amount of profit which we have made this year. Okay, the next point is security premium reserve after writing off miscellaneous expenditure is 50,000 in 2013 and 0 balance in 2012, and miscellaneous expenditure is shown as a negative item 20,000 in 2012, which means that actually security premium was 70,000. After writing off 20,000, it is now 50,000. Now, what you have to do is you have to show 70,000 as security premium in financing activity and nothing to be done for miscellaneous expenses, right, because it has already been adjusted. Now, non-current liability, long term borrowing which is comprising of two part, 10% debenture 2 lakh to 3 lakh and mortgage loan 4 lakh to 3 lakh. If you add them, it is becoming 6 lakh and 6 lakh, which means you can say there is no change, but please remember debentures have increased and loan has decreased. So, you must tell both these items in financing activity as it can be of interest for investors and other people. Next point, current liability, it comprises of trade payable and provision for doubtful debt which are increasing from 20 to 30 and 10 to 15. I think you know these will be adjusted in operating activity for working capital change. On the asset side, we have non-current asset, fixed asset at cost 15 lakh to 19 lakh and less accumulated depreciation 20,000 to 70,000, making it a net of 14 lakh 80 and 18 lakh 30,000. Next point is investment non-current 50,000 to 70,000, that means 20,000 we have purchased, it will be shown as a deduction in investing activity. And current asset inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent. I hope you know inventory and trade receivable will be adjusted in operating activity and cash and cash equivalent will be adjusted in the end. Let us examine two adjustments also. Dividend paid 50,000, it will be added in operating activity and shown as a deduction in financing if we have not taken net profit before tax, right. And the next point is fixed asset at cost 2 lakh with accumulated depreciation 20,000 sold for 2 lakh 50,000. We will make an account at cost and show the profit and loss accordingly in the operating activity as well as 2 lakh 50,000 as an addition in investing activity. So, students, that is how we do cash flow statement in detail. In our next class, we will be starting with a very important topic introduced this year, that is value based questions on partnership, company accounts and all. And till then, goodbye and thank you very much.
Hello students, I am Sunil Kumar, Kendriya Vidyalaya Secretariat RK Puram. Let me take you to the first episode of Business Studies Class 12 Standard. Today, we'll study the first chapter, Management, its Nature and Significance. You must be thinking, what is management? Management is a process of planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling all the activities of the business organization so as to help the organization in the achievement of its organizational objectives. It is an activity where a group of people are working. They must be working differently. They are from different backgrounds. Their religion is different. So it is only management which can correlate and coordinate the activities of all these diverse people. You may be thinking that management is only required in business organizations. But let me tell you, it is not only required in business organizations, it is also required in social and religious organizations. You talk of temple, mosques, hospitals, churches, schools, colleges, or any business organization, everywhere you will find the management. Students, after getting the meaning of management, let me have an expert definition. Mr. Kretner, one of the experts in the field of management, has defined management is the process of working with and through others to achieve organizational objectives by efficiently using limited resources in the changing environment. So with the help of this definition, it is very much clear that the old concept of taking the work from the people is gone. Now, we all, the manager and the workers, need to work together, and only then we'll be able to achieve what we would like to achieve. Only management can help in bringing the efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency means bringing down the cost and increasing the profitability. Effectiveness means completing the task on time, and it is only the management which can help in achieving efficiency and effectiveness both. Students, let me have now features of management. The very first feature of management is it is a goal-directed process. The goals of business organization should be simple and clearly stated. An organization may be having so many goals, but it has to quantify it. Say, in a particular year, a business organization has earned 100% profits, and the organization would like to increase it to 150%. The management has to make it clear to all the employees working in the organization that in this particular year we are going to achieve that much amount of profits. So once the employees are clear, the managers are clear, the top level management is clear, only then they will be able to achieve what they would like to achieve. When the goals are simply and clearly stated, the employees will be keeping all the things in their minds and they will be giving their level best. The second feature of management that it is all pervasive. The activities of management is common to all organizations, whether economic, social or political. As I mentioned earlier, that management is required nowadays in all the spheres of life. In a business organization, we are having 3 levels of management: the lower level of management, the middle level of management and the top level of management. Management is the only thing which is required at all the 3 levels of management. Now next feature we have, it is a continuous process. The process of management is a series of continuous, composite but separate functions performed by managers all the time. It's not like once the planning is done, then everything is done. No, we have to go for organizing the activities. We have to organize the physical and human resources. We have to employ the competent people by going for the recruitment, selection, training, and then remuneration. We have to direct them. We have to supervise them. We have to provide them able leadership. We have to communicate each and everything to them, and only then we will be able to achieve our organizational objectives. Students, now we have next feature. Management is a group activity. To fulfill the common organizational goals, teamwork and coordination of individual efforts is required. The time has gone when we were thinking a person who is very hardworking, very intelligent, and will be able to take the organization to the new heights. Then, my dear friends, you are wrong. Now, there is a totally changed concept that management is a group activity and can never ever be played alone. When so many individuals are working together, they are making a group, and the group activities are to be directed in such a way as it will help in the achievement of organizational goals. Students, let we have our next feature of management. That management is a dynamic function. In order to be successful, an organization must adapt itself to the changing environment. Now the time has gone when whatever companies are manufacturing, they are selling it in the market and consumers are buying the same. But now the time has changed. Now customers would like to buy what they would like to buy and not what companies are manufacturing. So before manufacturing the products, the companies, they have to conduct a research in the market. They have to ask for the preferences, tastes of the people, and only after that produce the products according to their tastes, their preferences, and only then they will be able to sell the product in the market. And whatever goal they have set in, either for the sales or for the profits, they will be able to achieve only when they are able to sell the products in the market. And now it is very much clear, they will be able to sell the products in the market when the consumers are satisfied. Our next feature of management is, it is an intangible force. Management cannot be touched or seen, but felt or noticed when targets are met, employees are satisfied, and order lines is present. It is only available in the management. We can't see the management, we can't touch the management, but when the business organizations are achieving their targets, as I took the example earlier, if the organization would like to increase its profits from 100% to 150%, so after the 1 year, if the business organization is actually achieving the target of 150% profits, then certainly we can feel, yes, management is there. If management is selling the products in the market and having a target of increasing the sales from 1 lakh units to 2 lakh units, then certainly the management is there. We can't see or touch the management, but we can feel the management as the business organization has achieved its target of 2 lakh units. Students, now we have next feature. Management is multidimensional. It includes 3 main dimensions: management of work, management of people, and management of operations. Now, management of work. Management translates work in terms of goals to be achieved and assigns means to achieve it. It means management put the goals on a particular level, that may be increasing the production, as I mentioned earlier, from 1 lakh unit to 2 lakh unit or maybe 3 lakh units, and then management tells that how we can achieve these levels in the future. The second, management of people. It includes dealing with employees as individuals, having diverse needs and behavior, and as a group of people, and make them work towards a common goal. As we all know, in an organization, so many people are working, maybe from the north region, the south region, the west region, the center region. So it's very, very difficult to understand their behavior, but it is only management which will help in understanding the behavior of these people and then direct their activities towards the attainment of common goals. Third, management of operations. An organization has a product or service to offer. Management helps in transforming the input into desired output for consumption. It is a link between management of work and management of people. So, we have understood all the features of management. So, students, we have finished all the features of management. Now, you must be thinking about the nature of management, whether it is a profession, an art, or a science. Now, today we will study management as a profession. Let me ask you one thing. Can a person be a doctor without getting the degree of MBBS? Or a person, a lawyer, without getting the degree of LLB? I know your answer must be no. Then what do you feel like? A person without getting the degree of MBA can become a manager? For that, we need to understand whether management is a profession or not. Now let me have the features of profession, and then we will correlate the features of profession with the management, and then we will compare whether management is actually a profession or not. Now, the very first feature of profession is systematized body of knowledge. Now, specialized body of knowledge. Every profession is a systematized body of knowledge, studied in specialized institutions and practiced in real-life situations. This is the first feature of profession. Now, let we have the management. Management is also having its own syllabus, its own principles. The principles derived by Mr. Henry Fayol, the father of general management, and by Mr. F.W. Taylor, the father of scientific management. It is studied in specialized institutions like Indian Institute of Management in our country, India. These are practiced in real-life situations. When the person who have completed the MBA degree from IIMs will come in the market, they will join various multinational companies, and whatever theoretical knowledge they have gained in IIMs, now they have to practice the same in these business organizations. So, the very first feature of profession is very much present in the management, as it is a systematized body of knowledge, studied in specialized institutions and practiced in real-life situation. This feature is very much present in the management. Now, second feature of profession is restricted entry. Every profession has restricted entry, means entry in every profession is allowed only after passing the professional examinations of that profession. For example, in order to become a doctor, one has to get MBBS degree. In order to be a lawyer, one has to have LLB degree. Now, let we understand this in the context of management. As we have discussed earlier, management doesn't have this particular feature of profession, because even a person passing out BCom can easily get a job of manager. But AIMA, All India Management Association, is working very hard in this particular field, that only MBAs can become a manager. Now, the third feature of profession is professional association. All professionals are associated to some professional organizations that register itself and provide the license of starting the practice. If we study this in the context of management, we will find no, there is no professional association. But AIMA, All India Management Association, yes, it is going to be registered with the Government of India, and it is working very hard in this particular field to make all the managers to be a part of an association. Now, next feature of profession is ethical code of conduct. The working of all the professionals is regulated by the professional association. The ethical code of conduct comprising of all the do's and don'ts. Like in case of doctors, what they are not supposed to do and what they have to do is very much clearly stated. But those who are working as managers, nothing is written what is there in their code of conduct. So, this feature of profession is not available in management. So, now students, after getting all the features of profession, we can compare these features are available in management or not. If we find only first feature is available in the management, but rest are not, so we can't say that management is a full-fledged profession. But AIMA is working very hard in making management as a profession. Students, we have just finished the restricted entry as a feature of management. Now, our next feature of profession is service motive. Management doesn't have the motive to serve the people. Rather, management aims at earning the profits. But if we look at the profession, in profession we provide service to the best of our knowledge and ability, and we charge fee according to the same. But management, it doesn't provide any fee, but aims at maximizing the profits of the business organizations. So this feature of profession is not available in management. IIMs are providing PG diploma in management, and those who are the pass out of IIMs, they get the job of a manager in various companies, Indian companies as well as multinational companies. So students, in today's episode, we have learned the meaning of management, features of management, and whether management is a profession or not. After studying these 3 points, you must have understood what management is all about. You must have seen so many companies working very successfully, earning huge amount of profits, shining like stars. So you must be starting one of the company in the future. And for that, we need to continue to our episode number 2, in which we shall study management as an art and the functions of management. Hello students, I am Sunil Kumar, PGT Commerce, Kendriya Vidyalaya Secretariat, RK Puram. Let me take you to the second episode of our Business Studies Class 12 Standard. In our last episode, we have finished the meaning of management, features of management, and the nature of management, whether management is a profession or not. Now, in this episode, we shall study whether management is an art or not. But before we compare the feature of art with the management, we need to know what is an art. An art is the skillful and personal application of existing knowledge to achieve desired results. It has the following basic features. The first feature of art is the existence of theoretical knowledge. Art presupposes the existence of certain theoretical knowledge. Experts in their respective areas have derived certain principles which are applicable to a particular form of art. Now let me understand whether management is having this feature of art or not. Yes, there is the existence of certain theoretical knowledge in the field of management. It is also having various principles which are derived on experimentation and observation by the management experts. The father of general management, Mr. Henry Fayol, has given 14 most important principles of management which are applicable throughout the world. The father of scientific management, Mr. F.W. Taylor, has also propounded the principles in the field of management. The principles of general management is applicable to all over the world in all the organizations. But the principles given by Mr. Taylor is applicable at the factory level only. Now, the persons who are passing out from the professional institutions, they are getting the jobs in the various companies and they are giving solutions, or you can say new solutions to the various problems which are arising in the business organizations. The students of IIMs who are getting PG diploma in management, they are getting the jobs in various companies, not only in India, but in multinational companies as well. They have learned theoretical knowledge of management in IIMs. But when actually the problem is coming, when they are working as a manager, they will be giving different solutions. They must have learned everything same in the IIMs, but when actual problem is coming, the solution from each and every one would be the different one. So yes, the very first feature of art is very much present in the management. The second feature of an art is personalized application. Every artist must possess personal skill and creativity to apply the theoretical knowledge of art. The application and use of this knowledge varies from person to person. As I mentioned earlier, those who are joining as managers, they must have learned something theoretically in the professional organizations, but now whatever problems they are facing, the solution will be different altogether. The solution which was best in the previous year may not be in this particular year because of the changed circumstances. The world is ever changing, so as the solutions. So it's not like the best solution of the previous year will remain forever. With changed circumstances, we have to change accordingly. The next feature is based on practice and creativity. All art is practical. An artist must interpret the theoretical knowledge and apply his own creativity to it. To achieve perfection, practice of the theoretical knowledge is necessary for an artist. If we compare this feature of art with the management, we will certainly find, yes, the managers, they are also having the practical problems when they are working in the organizations. There may be problem in the production department, in the finance department, in the marketing department, or even in the finance department. One has to provide the best solution to these problems, and management helps in completing and overcoming with all these problems. So this feature of art is also available in management. So now if we compare all the three features which are present in art with the management, we will certainly find, yes, management is also having all the three principles of art. So we can say that yes, management is of course an art. Students, we have understood whether management is an art or not. Now we need to understand what are the functions performed by the management. So management has 5 major functions to be performed. First is planning, then organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Now, the first function performed by the management is planning. It means deciding in advance what to do, when to do, how to do, by whom it is to be done. Basically, in planning, we set the objectives of the business organization, and to provide the support services, we have to formulate the supportive plans. Then we have to search for the various alternative courses which are available in the market. After searching the alternatives, we have to analyze each and every alternative so that we can choose the best. And after comparing the cost analysis and profit analysis available in all the various alternative courses of action are to be chosen. So the best, which one would be the best? The best which is decreasing the cost and which is increasing the profits of the business organization. So once one alternative course of action is selected, the business has to implement it. And the moment it is implemented, it again we will go to the very first step of the planning, that is setting the standards. Because once we have set the standards, we may not end up with the target which we have set in earlier. The second function of management is organizing. To organize a business means to provide it with everything useful for the functioning, that is the raw material, machines, money, tools, and all other human resources. We identify the different activities in the organization as financing, production, marketing, and personnel. Organizing helps in setting all the activities to the perfection. Organizing brings together physical, financial, and human resources, which ultimately helps in the attainment of organizational objectives. It is only organizing which is establishing the superior subordinate relationship. It is the one which is setting the hierarchy in an organization. If we have to understand the organizational structure, we need to understand the levels which we are having in the management. In the management, at the top level, we are having managing directors, board of directors. Then we are having production manager, finance manager, marketing manager, personnel manager. And then we are having at the lower level of management all the employees, supervisors, and the workers who are working in these different departments. Students, now let we have our next function of management, that is staffing. Staffing means putting the right person on the right job. It includes estimation of manpower requirements. It comprises of recruitment, selection, training, placement, and compensation. The first one is estimating manpower requirements. In every company, we have to see that in various departments, where are the vacancies? All the vacancies available in the different departments like finance, marketing, production, and personnel. We have to see how many vacancies are there. These vacancies are to be advertised, and the competent people from all over the country and from the abroad, they can apply for the jobs. Once the companies are getting the applications, the scrutiny will take place, and after that, those who are qualifying the educational experience and the professional qualifications, they will be called for the written test. Once the written test is conducted and those who are successful one, they will be called for the interview. And after interview, they will be sent for training, so that from the very first day, they will be able to perform what they want to perform in the organization. The business organization wants that each and every person who are joining the organization should give their best. They need to have all the information about the organization. They need to have all the information what type of work they have to provide, what type of task they have to perform in the organization. So in training, whatever professional and other type of skills are required, these are being explored to the perfection, and from the very first day the person will give his or her level best. And once the people have gone for the training, they will be coming with full of confidence, and whatever task is been given to them, they will be performing it to the perfection from the very first day. As we have seen that in various companies, when the new people comes to the organization, they will find the environment is different altogether. They will be feeling comfortable in the organization as they are being paid sufficient amount of salaries and wages. They will be able to provide their level best to the organization, and when each and every person is working to their level best, certainly whatever goals or the objectives the organization has set in will certainly be able to meet those goals very, very easily. Now, our next function of management is directing. Directing refers to giving instructions to employees by motivating them, supervising their work, and communicating with them. It includes supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. Now, let me discuss these in detail. Supervision is a combination of super plus vision. Super means over and above. Vision means to look at. So in an organization, one person has to give the job that he has to look at all the employees who are working in the organization. He has to see the activities performed by those workers. And if he finds a particular worker is not working properly, he has to issue certain instructions to him. He has to tell him how he can perform his task to the perfection. Now next is motivation. Motivation not a thing which can be forced on a particular person. It comes automatically from the inner side of the person. If a person is in need of money, and if we provide a financial incentive to the person will give more than 100% to get that financial reward. Similarly, if a person is having sufficient amount of money, and if we ask him that if you work in particular way, you will be given more money, the person may not be motivated. But if we tell that in front of so many people, you will be praised, you will be appreciated, so that might motivate that particular person. So now it is very much clear, we cannot force motivation on a particular person, but it comes automatically from the inner side of the person. The next is leadership. In an organization, once the right person is put on the right job, we need to direct them, we need to guide them, we need to give them enough stimulus so that without getting tired, they will be working for the success of the organization. A person in a company must be appointed for that particular cause, who will be working as a mediator between the employees and the management, and that is the personnel manager. He will be taking all the problems of the lower level of management and will be circulating the same to the top level of management. And whatever solution top level of management is providing, he communicates the same to the employees. In this way, a personal manager avoids any possible strike or lockout in the organization. Now, the last and the most important element of directing is communication. Without proper communication, whatever functions are earlier performed are useless. The middle level of management has to communicate with the employees in proper writing form, but in some cases in the oral form as well. If the organization is not having effective communication system, then certainly there will be the communication gap, and because of which the employees will not be able to give their 100%. They will be fully confused that what they have to do in the organization and how they can contribute towards the success of the business organization. Now, the last but the most important function of management is controlling. It means measurement of performance against the standards and correcting deviations to assure attainment of objectives according to plans. In controlling, basically what we have planned in planning, we have to ensure that the things are taking place in the same way. In planning function, we have set the cost of manufacturing of a product should be rupees 20. Now in controlling, we will see whether actually the cost of the product is 20 or not. If it is more than 20, the causes will be taken out and the corrective measures has to be adopted, because in the next year, certainly whatever decisions went wrong in the previous year, in this year management doesn't want that it should repeat once again. Now students, we have come to an end of the functions performed by the management. Now at last, let me ask few questions from you. Question number 1. Thinking of launching new collection of office wear by a garment manufacturing company comes under A. Organizing, B. Staffing, C. Planning, or D. Controlling. Question number 2. Dividing the work in the company into purchasing, manufacturing, selling, storage comes under A. Organizing, B. Staffing, C. Planning, or D. Controlling. Question number 3. Giving advertisement in newspaper inviting public to apply for the vacant post of manager in the organization comes under A. Organizing, B. Staffing, C. Planning, or D. Controlling. Now these are the 3 questions which I am giving to you, and I would like to get the answer from your side in next episode. In the first episode, we have completed the meaning of management, features of management, nature of management, management as a profession, and now in today's episode, management as an art and the functions performed by the management. So after getting all these about the management, you must be forming a very sound view about the management. You must apply yourself in the various ways of management. Like if you would like to do well in your exams, certainly you will go for the very first function of management, that is planning. You have to plan your activities, how you have to study in the morning, daytime, evening, or at night. You have to plan yourself. A plan cannot be a successful one for all the students. So you have to plan yourself according to your SWOT, that is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So with the help of these 2 episodes, I hope that you have learned about the management and you will be applying the principles and all the concepts relating to management in your real life situations. Hello students, I am Sunil Kumar, PGT Commerce, Kendriya Vidyalaya Secretariat, RK-Puram. Let me take you to our next episode. But before starting the new chapter, let me tell you the correct answer of the questions which we had in our last episode. Question number 1. Thinking of launching new collection of office wears by a garment manufacturing company is A. Organizing, B. Staffing, C. Planning, D. Controlling. And the correct answer is C. Planning. Question number 2. Dividing the work in the company into purchasing, manufacturing, selling, storage is an example of organizing, staffing, planning or controlling. Students, your correct answer is organizing, your option number A. The question 3rd was giving advertisement in newspaper inviting public to apply for the vacant post of manager in the organization is whether organizing, staffing, planning or controlling. So students, the correct answer is B. Staffing. Now, let me start our second chapter, and the title of the chapter is Principles of Management. Now, first of all, the question arises, what is the meaning of principles? A principle means a statement of fundamental truth which has been established with reference to a cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. These are the general guidelines which provides help to the managers in decision making. These principles enable the managers to manage the enterprise effectively and efficiently. The principles of management are derived through experimentation and observation method. The first method is experimentation method. In this method, by conducting experimental studies, results are noted down and conclusions are drawn. For example, Mr. F.W. Taylor suggested various studies like time study, motion study, fatigue study, standardization of work to fix a day's optimum work. Our second method is observation method. In observation method, the events of the real life situations are observed and analyzed in order to arrive at a management principle. For example, the principle of division of labor divides by observing that division of work into smaller jobs leads to specialization, which ultimately helps in the efficiency in the operations. So these are the two ways through which the management principles are derived. Students, now let we have the principles given by the father of general management, Mr. Henry Fayol. He has given 14 principles of management, and he says if in any organization, if the business is having all these principles, then certainly the business will be able to manage itself very well, and they will bring efficiency and effectiveness to their all the operations, which will help them in the meeting of their common objectives. Now, let we have the 14 principles given by him. The first principle given by him is division of labor. Number 2, parity of authority and responsibility. Number 3, discipline. Number 4, unity of command. Number 5, unity of direction. Number 6, subordination of individual interest into common interest. Number 7, fair remuneration to the employees. Number 8, centralization and decentralization. Number 9, scalar chain. Number 10, order. Number 11, equity. Number 12, stability of tenure. Number 13, initiative. And number 14, esprit de corps. These 14 principles provide guidelines to all the managers working in the business organizations and will certainly help in the achievement of their operations successfully. Now, the first principle of general management is division of work. This principle states that work should be divided into small specialized tasks performed by a trained employee in order to bring specialization. This idea comes from the companies having various departments for finance, marketing, production, personnel, etc. These departments have specialized persons, which leads to specialization, which brings efficiency and helps in the achievement of organizational objectives. For example, if a person is good in technical, then he should be in the production department and should not be employed in the finance or in the personnel department, since the person can give his best, his 100% in the production department only. Second principle is parity of authority and responsibility. Parity means equality. When superiors are giving jobs to the subordinates, they must ensure that equal amount of authority is also given to them. Because once the responsibility is given and if authority is not given, then the subordinate will not be able to complete the task, and as a result, the business will fail in achieving its common goals. Let me understand it with the help of an example. The head of a business organization has given a target of increasing the production from 5 lakh units to 6 lakh units to the production manager. Production manager has given this target to the foreman, but he fails to give the authority to the subordinate to take extra raw material from the store. At the end, the target of 6 lakh units were not met. As a result, the business fails in achieving its targets. What do you feel like, students? Who should be kept responsible for that? Yes, you are right. It would be only production manager, because while giving the responsibility, he must have ensured equal amount of authority to the subordinate. But the foreman was not given the authority to take raw material from the store. As a result, it is only the production manager who will be kept responsible for not achieving the target. Our third principle is discipline. Discipline is the obedience to organization rules and employment agreements. All the employees who are coming from the different areas, different backgrounds, different religions, their work has to be coordinated. And it will be coordinated only when the discipline is maintained in the organization. Students, you might be thinking that discipline is the same what you are maintaining in the class by keeping a finger on your mouth. Here, discipline is something else. Whatever orders are given by the superiors to the subordinates, they have to follow those orders. There is no chance that subordinates can avoid whatever orders are given by the superiors. So they have to maintain a perfect discipline in the organization. Whether the orders are coming orally or the orders are coming in written form, they have to meet to the best of their knowledge and ability. Our next principle is unity of command. It means each employee must have a single boss only. He must receive all the orders from the same. What happens if he gets order from so many bosses? There will be overlapping of work. If first boss is asking him to do the work, he will say, I'm doing the work of the second boss. And if the second boss is telling him to do the work, he will say he's doing it for the third boss. So now you can understand, it is almost impossible to take work from the employees if they are having more than one boss. If there is one boss, the responsibility will be fixed. And if employee is unable to complete his task, will be kept responsible. And if the order is given in writing, then action will be taken against him. Our next principle is unity of direction. A single plan of action is to guide the organization. This principle comprises that there should be one head and one plan for each department. And the head of the department must ask all the subordinates to come together, make a single group, and then he has to direct their activities toward the attainment of whatever plan they have derived earlier. If the activities are directed in a proper way And if the employees are giving their level best, then certainly they will be able to achieve the target which are specifically settled for their own department. Our next principle is subordination of individual interest in general interest. The interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee. In fact, management must set the targets in such a way that while meeting individual targets, the targets of the business organization is automatically achieved. Let me understand it with the help of an example. The management is thinking in increasing its production, but they can't ask the employees to work fastly so that the production can be increased. But the management can ask the employees that if they want to increase their salaries, they have to go for overtime. When the employees are going for overtime, it's not like they are going to help the management in achievement of the organizational objectives. Basically, they will be meeting their own targets because their individual target is to achieve or to get more and more money. And while going for overtime, they will certainly be able to earn more money. And in due course, the production of the organization will automatically increase. So in this way, the management must try that whatever activities are done in complementary to each other. While meeting individual targets, the management targets are automatically achieved. Our next principle is remuneration of employees. The overall pay and compensation should be fair to both employees and the organization. It ensures good relations between workers and management, which helps in the smooth functioning of the organization. The management must not try to exploit a particular worker by thinking that the worker is in need of job. He has to run his family, so even if he is offering small amount of wages, then also he can take the work from them. Certainly, the management will be able to get work from them, but it will be an exploitation, and being the honest business organization, the manager must not exploit the workers in any way. Our next principle is centralization and decentralization. Centralization means keeping all the power at the top level of management, whereas decentralization means giving the authority to all the levels of the management. In our first episode, students, we have discussed that we are having 3 levels of management: the top level of management, middle level of management, and the lower level of management. If the entire power is kept at the top level of management, then it is known as centralization. All the decision-making power will be taken by the top level of management. They will be giving a very little liberty to the middle level of management and may not be any liberty to the lower level of management. So anything which increases the role of employees in the organization are known as decentralization. Now you may be thinking whether the business organization should go for centralization or decentralization. Actually, there is no formula to decide whether there should be complete centralization or there should be complete decentralization. Rather, the organization has to establish a balance between the centralization and decentralization. Our next principle is scalar chain. All orders and instructions should flow in a proper order. In case of emergency, the chain can be broken to capitalize the opportunities, which is known as gangplank. Mr. Henry Fayol says that in an organization, there should be an hierarchy. It means there should be the establishment of relationship between the employee and the employer. That is known as superior-subordinate relationship. So whenever any subordinate is getting order, it should come in a proper way. The next principle is order. There are 2 types of order: material order and social order. Materials and people must be in suitable places at appropriate time for maximum efficiency. Here, order doesn't mean the order is given by a person to another person, or your father is giving order to you at home. Here, order means each and everything should be placed where it should be. the human resources, the physical resources, everything should be placed where it should be. Take an example, a technician is in need of a tool. He must know where he can find the tool. He will not go here and there in search of the tool. So it is the responsibility of the management to fix the place of each and everything, and it should be made available to all the employees. They should know what things are required and from where they can get these things. Our next principle is equity, the provision of justice and the fair and impartial treatment of all employees. This principle states that there should not be any discrimination among all the workers on the basis of caste, creed, religion, language, or any other basis. If management is discriminating among all the employees, then it will not be able to get whatever targets they have set in. The relationship will not be sweet among all the employees, and they will feel isolated in the organization. They will certainly not be able to give their 100%. So it is imperative to give them a very comfortable and congenial environment where they can feel free, where they can explore themselves, where they are allowed to give their own suggestions, which ultimately helps in the better management of the organization. Our next principle is stability of tenure of personnel. Long-term employment is important for the development of skills that improve the organization's performance. This principle emphasizes that management should allow them to get the job on long-term basis. If they are given the temporary jobs, they will not be able to give their 100%. They will be thinking all the time, anytime they will be out of the organization, and then where they will be getting the job. So instead of concentrating on their own work in the organization, they will be concentrating more in getting jobs in other companies. If the management is giving the assurance to the employee that in no case he will be sent out of the organization, then the employee will be giving their 100%. He will be ready to do whatever activities he is asked to do, and he will give his 100% and will help in the achievement of the common goals. Our next principle is initiative, the fostering of creativity and innovation by encouraging employees to act on their own. According to Henry Fayol, employees should be encouraged to give their own opinion. They are the ones who are working in the plant, so they know what are the best for the plant. So if there is any plan to improve the position of the plant, it is imperative to take views and suggestions from the employees, because they are the ones who are all the time present in the plant. And the superiors who are sitting in AC offices, they don't know what are the requirements in the plant. And if the suggestions and viewpoints of the employees are taken and are implemented, it will help them to connect to the organization emotionally. They won't feel they are the employees of the organization. They will feel an important part of the organization, which actually they are. Now we have come to our principle number 14, that is esprit de corps. Comradeship, shared enthusiasm, foster devotion to the common cause. Esprit de corps means union is strength. This principle states that if the employees are working in isolation, they won't help in the achievement of organizational objectives. If they are having a feeling of brotherhood, a feeling of companionship, if they are giving cooperation to each other, then certainly they will be working as a group and they will help in the achievement of overall objectives of the organization. So students, in today's episode, we have finished the meaning of principles of management and the principles given by the father of general management, Mr. Henry Fayol. So with the help of these principles, now you must be understanding that whenever you are going to start a business, you have to apply these 14 principles to the maximum. And then you will certainly ensure that whatever you would like to achieve with your business, you will definitely achieve these. Thank you.
Hello students, welcome once again in the last part of the fourth chapter Poverty of your second book Indian Economic Development. Today we will complete it. We have discussed a lot about poverty. But do you know what are the reasons responsible for the social evil poverty in India? Let's discuss them. There are a number of reasons which are responsible for the problem of poverty in India. These reasons broadly can be classified into two groups, economic reasons and non-economic reasons. First, we will discuss the economic factors responsible for poverty. First among economic factors is underutilization of natural resources. No doubt, India possesses vast and rich natural resources, but we could not yet utilize the country's natural resources to the fullest extent. A large part of our water, forest, energy and mineral resources is either unutilized or underutilized, which is responsible for our poor growth and poverty. Second reason among economic factor is low level of technology. The level of technology being adopted in India is low and outdated. Use of low technology results in low level of productivity and consequently the country remains a state of poverty. Not only we are poor in technology, also we import the technology from well-developed countries, which also cost us more, adding to our poverty. Third among economic factor is widespread unemployment. We know that there is a problem of widespread unemployment in India. The problem of unemployment here has many forms. It may be open unemployment, it may be under unemployment, it may be disguised unemployment and so on. The labor force of country remains idle as India is a labor surplus economy and a part of labor force is unutilized because of unemployment or intermittently employed as casual laborers. Casual laborers are the most vulnerable sections of the society because they have neither job security nor any assets. Consequently, the level of income and purchasing power goes down. Poverty is thus closely related with unemployment. Fourth reason among economic factors is backwardness of agriculture. As we know, India is mainly an agrarian economy. Our more than 70% population was engaged in this sector at the time of independence. Still today, more than 50% population, that means more than half population of India is engaged in agriculture. But inadequate supply of water, fertilizers, pesticides and high yielding variety seed goods and the low level technology are the main reasons responsible for backwardness of agriculture in India. As a result of it, per hectare productivity and per capita productivity are also low in India and that's why most of our farmers live in poverty. Lack of access of the people to the cultivable land, to the unequal distribution of land holdings and failure of land reforms are the major reasons of poverty in rural India. The fifth reason among economic factors is inflationary pressures. Poor and middle class of the society is forced to live in pressure because of continuous rise in the prices of mass consumption goods. In this regard, especially a continuous increase in the price of good and food grains is mounting pressure on the poor people. As a result of this inflationary pressure, a large section of the population has been thrown below the poverty line. Inequalities in the distribution of wealth and income are also to a large extent responsible for poverty in India. As we know, a large section of the people is forced to remain under poverty due to concentration of wealth and income in a few hands. For example, about 34% of countries' purchasing power is concentrated in the hands of only 10% rich people. Next economic factor is vicious circle of poverty. India is at present entangled in the vicious circle of poverty. It means that here poverty is both the cause and the effect. Poverty is a curse, but it becomes bigger curse when it perpetuates itself. These were some of the economic factors responsible for poverty in India. Now some non-economic factors. First among them is legacy of British rule. Britishers ruthlessly exploited the country during their colonial rule. They destroyed India's traditional handicraft industries and adopted policies contrary to the country's economic development. India could not yet overcome and compensate the harm and hurt done by the British rulers. Second non-economic factor is rapid rise in population. On the one hand, the size of India's population is big, and on the other, it is increasing at a rapid rate. Consequently, the level of per capita income and consumption is not increasing much. Third reason for rising poverty in India is social factors. We are also witnessing hurdles in the way of country's development due to illiteracy, ignorance, backwardness, outdated anti-development social structure and unscientific orthodox outlook. Inadequacy of social structure affecting the quality of life of the people and their employability is also causing poverty in India. Now a question arises in all of our mind. Can we never come out of this social misery? Have to always suffer poverty? The answer is absolutely no. The following measures can go a long way to reduce the inequalities of income. And these measures are: first, poverty can be eliminated by providing more employment opportunities so that people may be able to meet their basic needs. Second remedy is that labor-intensive technique rather than capital-intensive techniques should be used. Third measure is that the various social security schemes like Workmen's Compensation Act, Maternity Benefit Act, Provident Fund Act and other benefits in case of death, disability or disease while on duty can make a frontal attack on poverty. Fourth remedy for poverty removal is the policy of encouraging cottage and small industries. It can help to create employment in rural areas also, especially in backward regions. Fifth measure for poverty removal is various schemes for the uplift of rural poor. They may be started. Land reforms have the motto, land belongs to the tiller. Thus, many measures were undertaken to abolish the zamindari system, as we know that zamindars also exploit the landless labourers. The main measure to remove poverty may be education. Education helps to bring out the best in human mind and spirit. These should be given special facilities of stipend, free books and contingency allowance. Without the active cooperation of citizens and political leaders, poverty cannot be eradicated from India. Ensuring the minimum supply of needs to the poor sections of the society can help in solving the problem of poverty. For this, public procurement and distribution system should be improved and strengthened. Students, we should also know here the types of poverty. Actually, poverty is of two types, absolute poverty and relative poverty. Let's understand the two terms. When poverty is taken in absolute terms and is not related with consumption or income pattern, it is known as absolute poverty. On the other hand, when poverty is taken in relative terms and is related to the distribution of income or consumption, it is known as relative poverty. The concept of absolute poverty is relevant for the less developed countries like India and relative poverty for developed countries. For measuring absolute poverty, a minimum level of consumption standard is laid down, non-poverty line, and those who fail to reach this minimum consumption level are regarded as poor. On the other hand, according to the relative standard, income distribution of the population in different fractile groups is estimated, and a comparison of the level of living of the top 5 to 10% with the bottom 5 to 10% of the population relates the relative standard of poverty. So students, our chapter poverty completes here. Now it is the time to test our knowledge. I mean to say it is the time to do some questions now. Let's start. Question number 1. Out of total world's poor persons, how many lives in India? Option A, more than one half. Option B, more than one third. Option C, more than one fourth. And option D, more than one fifth. If you remember, line was said that every sixth poor person in the world is an Indian. Every sixth means more than one fifth. It means our answer is D, more than one fifth. Second question is, who are regarded as poor? Those who are unable to meet their basic necessities, those who are unable to meet their comforts, those who are unable to meet their luxuries, or those who are unable to meet their demands. Yes, of course, answer is A. Poor are those persons who are unable to meet even their basic necessities. Question number 3 is, why Indira Awas Yojana was launched? Means what is the objective behind Indira Awas Yojana? Option A, to provide employment to urban poor. Option 2, to provide employment to rural poor. Option C, to provide houses to poor. Option D, to provide free food to poor. The term is Indira Awas Yojana and Awas stands for house. So it can never be for employment or food. Its answer is option C. It was for providing houses to poor. Question number 4. What factors are responsible for the growth of poverty in India? Option A, economic factors are responsible. Option B, non-economic factors are responsible. Option C, both economic and non-economic factors are responsible. Option D, either economic factor or non-economic factors are responsible. Yes, our answer is C. Both economic and non-economic factors are responsible for the growth of poverty in India. Question number 5. What among the following is responsible for poverty in India? Option A, population. Option 2, unemployment. Option 3, politics. And option 4, all of the above. Yes, answer is D. All of the above are responsible for growing poverty in India. Question number 6. Total population of India is divided into two categories and they are: first option between poor and non-poor, second option between rich and poor, third option between poor and middle class, option D between rich and middle class. Answer is A, between poor and non-poor. Question number 7. A person is regarded as poor in rural areas if he is not able to consume dash calories per day. Option A, 2400 calories per day. Option B, 2100 calories per day. Option C, 3600 calories per day. And option D, 2800 calories per day. Answer is A, 2400 calories. So students, our chapter completes here with detailed analysis of poverty. We will meet again with a new chapter. Till then, thanks.
Welcome students. We are going to continue today's discussion with Sales Day book, which is a part of chapter 4, recording of transactions part 2. In the previous session, we have discussed about petty cash book, purchase day book and purchase return book. Now we are completing the discussion with sales day book and journal proper. So let us start with the first topic of the day, sales day book. Sale day book record all the credit sales of goods in trade only. Please remember, goods in trade only. All other credit sales like sale of building, furniture, etc., they are not recorded here, but in journal proper. The format is the same like of purchase book, but we can have a separate column of sale tax if it is mentioned in the question. The first column starts with date and then invoice number, name of the customer. Please remember, in purchase book it was name of supplier, now it is name of customer. Then the ledger folio and amount. Let us take few example of sales journal. Books of Raja Limited. First transaction, sold 20 meters cloth to Ram Traders at the rate of 100 per meter on 24th November 2014 with invoice number 70. Now, this will be recorded in the sales journal like this. In the date column, we will write 24th November 2014 and in the invoice column 70. Then in the name of customer column, we will write Ram, the person to whom we are sending the goods, that is the customer. And in the amount column, we will write 2000 rupees, that is 20 meters into 100 is 2000. Once again, ledger folio will come when we will post this entry in the RAM account after a particular time. Let us take another example. Second one, sold to Radhesham 10 pence at the rate of 250 per pent on 25th November with invoice number 81. Now, to record this, first of all in date column we are going to write 25th November 2014 and then in the invoice column we will write 81 and in the name column we will write Radhesham, the name of the customer, and in the amount column we will be writing 2500 because 10 into 250 will be 2500. So, like this we can record all our entries and then arrive at the total. Right now, for these two transactions, our total will be 4500, 4500 rupees only. While posting from the sales book, all the customer accounts are debited and number of their ledger page number will be recorded in the ledger folio column in sales book. Sales journal is also totaled periodically, generally in a month, and credited to sales account in the ledger book, which is a principal book. So, all the cash entries from cash book, and all the credit entries from sale book are transferred and credited to the sales account in the ledger. Let us discuss the next book, sales return book. Sales return book record goods returned by customers, maybe due to goods not up to the mark or some defect, etc. Now, credit note is prepared for this sale return. In this credit note, there will be details regarding customer, the reason of return, the date and other things. All these debit notes and credit notes are serially numbered and dated. Format is again the same, just like sales book, but instead of invoice number, we will be having credit note number. This is the only difference. Now, while posting the sale return book, customers will be credited and sales return account debited with the totals done periodically, say after 15 days or a month, as the situation is. Now, let us quickly go through few entries to get an insight of this book. To start with, let us take the example that books are of Shriman Limited. Following returns were made to them. The first entry in the books of Shriman Limited, Ramesh returned goods of rupees 500, wide credit note number 132 on 29th November. Now, this will be recorded as follows. In the date column, first of all we will write 29th November 2014. Next, in the credit note number column, we will write 132, and in the name column we are going to write Ramesh, the person who has returned the goods, and then in the amount column 500 rupees, and as usual ledger folio after posting in the customer account. Now, let us start with a very important book, that is journal proper. Transactions which do not find place in the previous mentioned books like sale book, purchase book, sale return, purchase return and cash book are recorded in this book. This is also called as journal residual, that is whatever entries remain, residue, they come here. Now, let us see what are the type of transactions which come under this category. First, all the opening entries of assets, liabilities and capital in the beginning. These are all previous year balances which are brought forward to the current year. Second, adjustment entries like prepaid expenses, outstanding expenses, depreciation on the asset, advances received, income outstanding and all these things which are the result of accrual basis of accounting. You know, this is one of the fundamental accounting assumption. Whatever is incurred for this year has to be accounted in this year. Maybe it has been paid, received or not. So, these are called adjustment entries which are given as adjustment in the final accounts question. Now, this we will see in the final accounts chapter. Next, rectification entries. All rectification entries find place in journal proper. Whatever rectification we do, previous wrong ones rectified now, these will find place in journal proper. Next, transfer entries like expenses and incomes are transferred to trading and P&L account, drawings is transferred to capital account. All these transfer entries find a place in this book because they are not specifically booked for these entries. There are some other entries which do come in this. Let us see them quickly. Dishonor of check or bill of exchange. Next, sale or purchase of asset on credit, because cash sale purchase will go in cash book. Next, goods withdrawn for personal use, that is drawings of goods. Next, goods used in advertisements, that is selling expenses, charity, etc. All these things find place here. Loss of goods by theft, fire, etc. and all other similar type of entries which do not find any place in the previously mentioned books will find a place here, right. Let us check what we have understood. First, when cash book is maintained, there is no need for, I will give you 4 options, you try to find out. Please see again, when cash book is maintained, there is no need for A. purchase book, B. petty cash book, C. bank and cash account, and D. journal proper. Yes, there is no need for bank and cash account. The right answer is C part. Next question. Double column cash book records A. all cash transactions, B. cash and bank transactions, C. cash and discount column, and D. bank and discount column. Yes, the answer is B, that is cash and bank entries. Next question. Journal proper records only which entries? A. cash transaction, B. credit transaction, C. adjustment entries, and D. all these entries. Yes, it is part C, adjustment entries only, because cash transactions recorded in cash book, credit transactions recorded in their respective books. So, all the adjusting entries are here. Let us see the next one. Goods purchased on cash is recorded in, please see purchased on cash, purchase book, no, 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 journal proper, no, cash book, yes, because we have purchased in cash. Fourth option was B and C both, of course it is wrong. Let us see the next one. Total of which is posted in the purchase account. First option is purchase of furniture and building, second option purchase return, third option printing and stationery, and fourth option is cash / credit purchase. Yes, the last one was the right one, because all the cash and credit purchase will go to purchase account periodically, say after 15 days or a month, whatever the situation is. Next question, credit in cash balance means there is a balance, second it is a overdraft, C both, D none. Yes, you are wrong, it is not overdraft, it is none, because I told you there can never be in credit in cash, there can be credit in bank only. Okay. Want to see one more? Yes. Ledger is A part primary book, B part main book, C part secondary book, and D part none of the above. Yes, it is a main book. So, the last topic in this section is balancing the accounts. The two sides are totaled, debit and credit. Then we try to find out the difference, whether it is in debit or credit. The balance on the shorter side is written. Suppose debit is more, then balance will be on credit side, by balance carried down. But it is a debit balance, because debit was more, and if the credit side is more, the balance will be on the debit side, to balance carried down. But please remember, this is a credit balance, because credit is more than debit. So, the balance is coming on the debit side, right. These balanced accounts are taken to the balance sheet, and all the revenue accounts are transferred to trading and P&L account. So, to conclude today's discussion, we can say that we have learned about sales day book, sales return, journal proper, and balancing the accounts. In our next session, we will be starting with a very important practical chapter, that is bank reconciliation statement. Till then, you enjoy these things and let's continue in the next class. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to everyone. I am Preeti Sharma from Kendriya Vidyalaya, GNU. In the last session, we have discussed the various form of business organization, and in that we have discussed the first form, that is sole proprietorship. Now in this session, we will discuss the second form of organization, that is partnership. But before discussing the partnership, first of all let us discuss the home assignment which we have given in the last class. The first question of home assignment was, name the organization which is suitable for business acquiring personalized services. The answer is sole proprietorship. Second question was, name the form of organization when there is no separate law for either formation or closure of business required. Answer is also sole proprietorship. The third question was, does the sole proprietorship have an identity of its own? Answer is no. Question number 4. What does a person achieve in sole proprietorship other than self-satisfaction? Answer is sense of accomplishment and confidence. And the last question was, give one reason why sole proprietor usually does not employ talented and ambitious employee. Answer is due to limited resources. So now let us come to the topic, that is partnership. Let us discuss the meaning of partnership. Partnership is an association of two or more persons who agree to jointly pursue the business activity. They pool their managerial and financial resources. It is formed when there is a need for greater capital investment and sharing of risk. In this meaning, you have seen that in case of partnership, there is at least two persons are required to form the partnership business. Two or there can be more persons who agree to share the future profit and losses. They pool their managerial and financial resources, and we usually use this type of partnership or this form of organization when there is a greater need of capital as compared to sole proprietorship. In case of sole proprietorship, there is less financial resources, but in case of partnership, there is more capital investment required. You can see that partnership form of business organization is governed by the Indian Partnership Act 1932. That means all the provisions and all the rules which are applicable to the partnership firm will be governed under the Partnership Act 1932. Now let us discuss the features of partnership one by one. First is formation. You can see that formation of partnership is through an agreement. That means when two or more persons who are agreed to join a business, then they have to write an agreement. It can be in oral or written. A written agreement is called partnership deed, under which all the provisions and all the guidelines are written which are applicable to the partnership firm. Second feature is liability. The liability of all partners are unlimited. That means if business assets, reserves and profits are insufficient to meet the liabilities of the business, in that case the personal property of the partners will also be used to meet the claims of the outsiders. It is same as we have discussed in case of sole proprietorship. Third feature is risk bearing. profit and losses are shared in agreed ratio because there are more partners in the business. So, all the profit and losses are shared in the agreed ratio which are written under the partnership agreement. If there is no partnership agreement, then in that case profit and losses are shared equally among the partners. Fourth is decision making and control. As we know that in partnership there are more persons who join the business, that means all the decisions are shared by all the partners. If there is one person who is not agree with the other persons, then there will be no decision taken by the partners. That means the consent of all the partners are required to take the sound decision. Fifth point is continuity. Business comes to an end due to the insolvency, retirement or death of any of its partner. In case of death, insolvency or retirement of any of the partner, business comes to an end, but a new and fresh agreement can be made between the remaining partners. Sixth one is mutual agency. All partners act like an agent as well as principal of each other, but it should be written in the agreement. Seventh point is membership. Minimum 2 members are required to form the partnership and maximum limit is 20 partners in other business, but in case of banking maximum limit is 10 partners. Now let us discuss the merits of partnership. First is ease of formation and closures. For the formation of partnership firm, there is no need or it is not compulsory for the partnership firm to get itself registered. It is not mandatory for the partnership firm to get themselves registered. It can be a non-registered firm also. Second one is balanced decision making. As there are 2 or more partners in the firm, so whenever the decisions are taken, the consent of all the partners are required. That will result in balanced decision making. Third is more funds. When 2 or more persons are come to join the business, that means more funds will be arranged, because when there is single person, so there will be less funds, but if there are more person, they will bring more money to the business. Fourth is sharing of risk. Like profits, business risk will also be shared by the all partners. Now let us discuss demerits of the partnership. First is unlimited liability. We have already discussed that liabilities of the each partner is unlimited to the extent of personal property of the partners. For example, in case the business assets, reserves or provisions are insufficient to meet the claims of the outsiders, then in that case the personal property of all the partners will be used to satisfy the claims of the outsiders. Next is limited resources. Resources are limited when we compare this form of organization with the company, because in partnership there is also limited number of persons who join the business. So, the financial resources as compared to company form of organization is less, but it is more as compared to the sole proprietorship. Third is partnership of conflicts. Because 2 or more persons are required to form the partnership, so there is always a chances of conflict. In case one of the partner does not agree with the other partner, then there will be the situation of conflict. Fourth one is lack of continuity. In case of death, insolvency or retirement, the old partnership firm comes to an end, but with the consent of the remaining partner, they can make a new agreement and can continue their firm. Last one is lack of public confidence. As it is not compulsory for the partnership firm to publish their books of accounts in the newspaper or in general or in other magazine. So, the confidence of the public is not gained by the partnership firm. Now, let us move to the next topic, that is types of partners. There are different types of partners. First is active partner. As their name suggests, these type of partners contribute capital, actively participate in the decision making, but they are having unlimited liability. That means active partners are those partners who contribute capital as well as they take part in decision making and they also bear unlimited liability. Second type of partner is sleeping partners. Sleeping partners are those partners who contribute capital but does not participate in the decision making, but they also bear unlimited liability. The third is secret partners. As their name suggests, secret partners are those partners whose association is not known to the general public, but they contribute capital, they participate in management as well as they bear unlimited liability. Next is nominal partners. Nominal partner is that type of partner who allows the partnership firm to use his or her name but does not contribute capital and does not take part in the management but liable to the creditors. They are liable to the creditors because they are allowing the partnership firm to use his or her name. Next is partner by estoppel. Partner by estoppel is a partner who through his or her conduct gives an impression that he or she is a partner of the firm, so he is too liable to the third party. They are liable to the third party because they are giving an impression that they are the partners of the firms. Next is partners by holding out. A person who is not actually a partner of a firm but knowingly allows himself or herself to be represented as a partner of the firm, he is also liable to the third party if he or she failure to clarify his or her position. So, we can say partners by holding out are liable only in that case if they do not clarify to the third party that they are not the partners of the particular firm. So, these were the different types of partners. So, now let us discuss the home assignment which is based on the topic which we have discussed in this class. Question number 1, name any two partners who neither contribute capital nor take part in the management nor share profit and losses but are liable to the third party. Question number 2, why it is advisable to have a written agreement in partnership. Question number 3, differentiate between sole proprietorship and partnership. I hope if you have listened all the topics carefully, then you can answer all these 3 questions. Now, let us recap whatever we have discussed in this session. We have discussed the meaning of partnership, features of partnership, merits and demerits of partnership as well as different types of partnership. I hope you must have understood all the topics well. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hello students, welcome once again in the last part of the 4th chapter Poverty of your second book Indian Economic Development. Today we will complete it. We have discussed a lot about poverty. But do you know what are the reasons responsible for the social evil poverty in India? Let's discuss them. There are a number of reasons which are responsible for the problem of poverty in India. These reasons broadly can be classified into 2 groups, economic reasons and non-economic reasons. First, we will discuss the economic factors responsible for poverty. First among economic factors is underutilization of natural resources. No doubt, India possesses vast and rich natural resources, but we could not yet utilize the country's natural resources to the fullest extent. A large part of our water, forest, energy and mineral resources is either unutilized or underutilized, which is responsible for our poor growth and poverty. Second reason among economic factor is low level of technology. The level of technology being adopted in India is low and outdated. Use of low technology results in low level of productivity and consequently the country remains a state of poverty. Not only we are poor in technology, also we import the technology from well-developed countries, which also cost us more, adding to our poverty. Third among economic factor is widespread unemployment. We know that there is a problem of widespread unemployment in India. The problem of unemployment here has many forms. It may be open unemployment, it may be under unemployment, it may be disguised unemployment and so on. The labor force of country remains idle as India is a labor surplus economy and a part of labor force is unutilized because of unemployment or intermittently employed as casual laborers. Casual laborers are the most vulnerable sections of the society because they have neither job security nor any assets. Consequently, the level of income and purchasing power goes down. Poverty is thus closely related with unemployment. Fourth reason among economic factors is backwardness of agriculture. As we know, India is mainly an agrarian economy. Our more than 70% population was engaged in this sector at the time of independence. Still today, more than 50% population, that means more than half population of India is engaged in agriculture. But inadequate supply of water, fertilizers, pesticides and high yielding variety seed goods and the low level technology are the main reasons responsible for backwardness of agriculture in India. As a result of it, per hectare productivity and per capita productivity are also low in India and that's why most of our farmers live in poverty. Lack of access of the people to the cultivable land, to the unequal distribution of land holdings and failure of land reforms are the major reasons of poverty in rural India. The fifth reason among economic factors is inflationary pressures. Poor and middle class of the society is forced to live in pressure because of continuous rise in the prices of mass consumption goods. In this regard, especially a continuous increase in the price of good and food grains is mounting pressure on the poor people. As a result of this inflationary pressure, a large section of the population has been thrown below the poverty line. Inequalities in the distribution of wealth and income are also to a large extent responsible for poverty in India. As we know, a large section of the people is forced to remain under poverty due to concentration of wealth and income in a few hands. For example, about 34% of country's purchasing power is concentrated in the hands of only 10% rich people. Next economic factor is vicious circle of poverty. India is at present entangled in the vicious circle of poverty. It means that here poverty is both the cause and the effect. Poverty is a curse but it becomes bigger curse when it perpetuates itself. These were some of the economic factors responsible for poverty in India. Now, some non-economic factors. First among them is legacy of British rule. Britishers ruthlessly exploited the country during their colonial rule. They destroyed India's traditional handicraft industries and adopted policies contrary to the country's economic development. India could not yet overcome and compensate the harm and hurt done by the British rulers. Second non-economic factor is rapid rise in population. On the one hand, the size of India's population is big, and on the other, it is increasing at a rapid rate. Consequently, the level of per capita income and consumption is not increasing much. Third reason for rising poverty in India is social factors. We are also witnessing hurdles in the way of country's development due to illiteracy, ignorance, backwardness, outdated anti-development social structure and unscientific orthodox outlook. Inadequacy of social structure affecting the quality of life of the people and their employability is also causing poverty in India. Now a question arises in all of our mind. Can we never come out of this social misery? Have to always suffer poverty? The answer is absolutely no. The following measures can go a long way to reduce the inequalities of income. And these measures are: first, poverty can be eliminated by providing more employment opportunities so that people may be able to meet their basic needs. Second remedy is that labor-intensive technique rather than capital-intensive techniques should be used. Third measure is that the various social security schemes like Workmen's Compensation Act, Maternity Benefit Act, Provident Fund Act and other benefits in case of death, disability or disease while on duty can make a frontal attack on poverty. Fourth remedy for poverty removal is the policy of encouraging cottage and small industries. It can help to create employment in rural areas also, especially in backward regions. Fifth measure for poverty removal is various schemes for the uplift of rural poor. They may be started. Land reforms have the motto, land belongs to the tiller. Thus, many measures were undertaken to abolish the zamindari system, as we know that zamindars also exploit the landless laborers. The main measure to remove poverty may be education. Education helps to bring out the best in human mind and spirit. These should be given special facilities of stipend, free books and contingency allowance. Without the active cooperation of citizens and political leaders, poverty cannot be eradicated from India. Ensuring the minimum supply of needs to the poor sections of the society can help in solving the problem of poverty. For this, public procurement and distribution system should be improved and strengthened. Students, we should also know here the types of poverty. Actually, poverty is of two types, absolute poverty and relative poverty. Let's understand the two terms. When poverty is taken in absolute terms and is not related with consumption or income pattern, it is known as absolute poverty. On the other hand, when poverty is taken in relative terms and is related to the distribution of income or consumption, it is known as relative poverty. The concept of absolute poverty is relevant for the less developed countries like India and relative poverty for developed countries. For measuring absolute poverty, a minimum level of consumption standard is laid down non-poverty line, and those who fail to reach this minimum consumption level are regarded as poor. On the other hand, according to the relative standard, income distribution of the population in different fractile groups is estimated, and a comparison of the level of living of the top 5 to 10% with the bottom 5 to 10% of the population relates the relative standard of poverty. So students, our chapter poverty completes here. Now it is the time to test our knowledge. I mean to say it is the time to do some questions now. Let's start. Question number 1. Out of total world's poor persons, how many lives in India? Option A, more than one half. Option B, more than one third. Option C, more than one fourth. And option D, more than one fifth. If you remember, line was said that every sixth poor person in the world is an Indian. Every sixth means more than one fifth. It means our answer is D, more than one fifth. Second question is, who are regarded as poor? Those who are unable to meet their basic necessities, those who are unable to meet their comforts, those who are unable to meet their luxuries, or those who are unable to meet their demands. Yes, of course, answer is A. Poor are those persons who are unable to meet even their basic necessities. Question number 3 is, why Indira Awas Yojana was launched? Means what is the objective behind Indira Awas Yojana? Option A, to provide employment to urban poor. Option 2, to provide employment to rural poor. Option C, to provide houses to poor. Option D, to provide free food to poor. The term is Indira Awas Yojana and Awas stands for house. So it can never be for employment or food. Its answer is option C. It was for providing houses to poor. Question number 4. What factors are responsible for the growth of poverty in India? Option A, economic factors are responsible. Option B, non-economic factors are responsible. Option C, both economic and non-economic factors are responsible. Option D, either economic factor or non-economic factors are responsible. Yes, our answer is C. Both economic and non-economic factors are responsible for the growth of poverty in India. Question number 5. What among the following is responsible for poverty in India? Option A, population. Option 2, unemployment. Option 3, politics. And option 4, all of the above. Yes, answer is D. All of the above are responsible for growing poverty in India. Question number 6. Total population of India is divided into two categories and they are: first option between poor and non-poor, second option between rich and poor, third option between poor and middle class, option D between rich and middle class. Answer is A, between poor and non-poor. Question number 7. A person is regarded as poor in rural areas if he is not able to consume dash calories per day. Option A, 2400 calories per day. Option B, 2100 calories per day. Option C, 3600 calories per day. And option D, 2800 calories per day. Answer is A, 2400 calories. So students, our chapter completes here with detailed analysis of poverty. We will meet again with a new chapter. Till then, thanks.
नमस्कार। संस्कृति और सभ्यता के क्रम में भारत बहुत आगे बढ़ चुका है। वैसे तो तरक्की के मापदंड और भी हैं जिन पर हम खरे उतरे हैं, पर यह सोचकर गर्व महसूस होता है कि 66 वर्षों का ये सफ़र हमारे देश ने बहुत ही सफलता के साथ पूरा किया है। 66 वर्ष इसलिए क्योंकि 2 शताब्दी से अधिक तक हम अंग्रेज़ों के अधीन रहे और सन 1947 में हमें आज़ादी प्राप्त हुई। इसके पीछे छिपी हैं वो लाखों करोड़ों कहानियाँ, वो लाखों करोड़ों लोग जिन्होंने अपना योगदान दिया हमें आज़ादी दिलवाने में। ऐसे सेनानियों को हमारा नमन है। और इन सब में शायद सबसे पहला और सबसे बड़ा नाम जो हमारे जहन में आता है वो है महात्मा गांधी का। हम सब के प्यारे बापू, हमारे राष्ट्रपिता महात्मा गांधी। गुजरात के महत्वपूर्ण शहरों में से एक है पोरबंदर। पोरबंदर में एक है कीर्ति मंदिर, जहां 2 अक्टूबर 1869 को उनका जन्म हुआ। कीर्ति मंदिर महात्मा गांधी की याद में बनवाया गया। यह पहले 3 मंजिल का घर था। इसके नए रूप की नींव 1947 में रखी गई और 1950 में इसका निर्माण कार्य पूरा हुआ। 27 मई 1950 को आम जनता के लिए ये स्मारक खोला गया। इस मंदिर की ऊंचाई 79 फीट है, जो कि गांधी जी के 79 वर्षों के जीवन की सूचक है। इसके प्रवेश द्वार पर गांधी जी के संपूर्ण जीवन की कहानी क्रम से लिखी हुई है। अंदर जाने पर महात्मा गांधी और कस्तूरबा गांधी जी की तस्वीरें रखी गई हैं। उनकी तस्वीरों के नीचे सत्य और अहिंसा लिखा गया है, जो कि महात्मा गांधी के जीवन के मूल्य आधार थे। कीर्ति मंदिर में गांधी जी के जीवन से जुड़े सभी महत्वपूर्ण पलों की तस्वीरें लगाई गई हैं। यहाँ पर स्थित संग्रहालय से गांधी जी से जुड़ी महत्वपूर्ण वस्तुओं का संग्रह है। यहाँ के एक कक्ष में कस्तूरबा पुस्तकालय है और पास में वह कमरा है जहाँ गांधी जी अध्ययन करते थे। यहाँ का प्रमुख भाग है वह स्थान जहाँ महात्मा गांधी पैदा हुए। इस जगह पर स्वस्तिक का चिन्ह बना है। इस तरह पोरबंदर का कीर्ति मंदिर महात्मा गांधी के पूरे जीवन को दर्शाता है। वैसे तो हम सब गांधी जी के बारे में जानते ही हैं, लेकिन उनके बारे में और जानने की हमारी जिज्ञासा हमेशा बनी रहती है। आज भी बहुत कुछ ऐसा है जो संजोए हुए हैं। उनकी यादें, उनका जीवन जो दिखलाता है हमें वो एक हल्की सी झलक जो हमें ले जाती है इतिहास में पीछे गांधी जी के पास। ऐसा ही कुछ प्रयास किया है हमने आज। आपको ले चलते हैं कुछ ऐसी जगहों पर जहाँ पर गांधी जी की यादें वाबस्ता हैं, जहाँ से आज भी उनकी खुशबू मिलती है। सत्याग्रह आंदोलन आज़ादी की लड़ाई का वो एक ऐसा मोड़ था जिसने हमें एक नई दिशा दी और जो हमें ले आया 15 अगस्त 1947 तक। हम आज़ाद हुए और हमने गर्व से अपना तिरंगा झंडा फहराया। गांधी जी इस आंदोलन के मुखिया थे। 1930 में उन्होंने नमक सत्याग्रह आंदोलन की शुरुआत की साबरमती आश्रम से। हमारा अगला पड़ाव है साबरमती। साबरमती ये केवल जगह का नाम नहीं है। अगर इतिहास के पन्नों को पलटकर देखा जाए तो यहाँ से हमें गांधी जी के पदचिन्ह मिलते हैं और साथ ही साथ हमें याद दिलाते हैं उस अमर आत्मा की जिसने एक सपना देखा था, भारत का, आजाद भारत का। साबरमती पश्चिमी अहमदाबाद का विकसित क्षेत्र है जो साबरमती नदी के किनारे बसा है। साबरमती आश्रम वह स्थान है जिसे 1915 में गांधी जी ने सत्याग्रह आश्रम के रूप में स्थापित किया था। 17 जून 1917 को इसे साबरमती नदी के किनारे स्थापित किया गया। यही वह महत्वपूर्ण स्थान है जहां से गांधी जी ने 12 मार्च 1930 को नमक सत्याग्रह की शुरुआत की। वर्तमान में साबरमती आश्रम में गांधी स्मारक संग्रहालय है, जिसका उद्घाटन जवाहरलाल नेहरू ने 10 मई 1963 को किया। आश्रम में स्थित गांधी जी के निवास स्थान को हृदय कुंज कहते हैं। आश्रम में एक अतिथि गृह भी है जिसे नंदिनी नाम दिया गया है। आश्रम में स्थित उपासना मंदिर में प्रार्थनाएं की जाती हैं। यहीं पर स्थित है मगन निवास। मगन लाल गांधी गांधी जी के भतीजे थे, जो आश्रम से सभी व्यवस्थाएं देखते थे। उनके विषय में गांधी जी कहते थे, ये आश्रम की आत्मा है। साबरमती आश्रम में 3 गलियारे हैं जिनके अलग अलग नाम हैं। पहला गलियारा है गांधी जी अहमदाबाद में। इसमें 1915 से 1930 के बीच गांधी जी के जीवन की महत्वपूर्ण घटनाओं की तस्वीरें लगाई गई हैं। दूसरे में उनके जीवन से जुड़ी चित्रकारी की गई है। तीसरे गलियारे का नाम है मेरा जीवन ही मेरा संदेश है, जिसमें गांधी जी के जीवन को बदल देने वाली घटनाओं को ऑयल पेंटिंग और फोटोग्राफ द्वारा दर्शाया गया है। हर साल यहाँ 7 लाख लोग आश्रम देखने के लिए आते हैं। इस तरह साबरमती आश्रम में आज भी गांधी जी की स्मृतियां सुरक्षित हैं। महाराष्ट्र में वर्धा से लगभग 8 किलोमीटर की दूरी पर है एक जगह जिसका नाम है सेवाग्राम आश्रम। किसी समय में ये शी गांव के नाम से जाना जाता था। गांधी जी ने सत्याग्रह आंदोलन की शुरुआत की थी साबरमती आश्रम से और फिर इन्होंने अपना घर बनाया शी गांव में, जिसे इन्होंने नाम दिया सेवाग्राम। सेवाग्राम यानी सेवा का गांव। महात्मा गांधी की सोच और व्यक्तित्व की परिभाषा यहाँ आज भी मिलती है। एक तरह से देखा जाए तो उनकी आहट आज भी यहाँ मिलती है। साथ ही साथ आहट मिलती है उन तमाम कदमों की जो उनके साथ जुड़ चुकी थी उनकी इस यात्रा में। और इस यात्रा का अंत हुआ लाल किले पर तिरंगा झंडा फहराने के साथ। कैसे रहे होंगे वो दिन जब कोई कहीं सोच रहा था स्वतंत्र राष्ट्र के बारे में, ताना बाना बुन रहा था एक ऐसी लड़ाई के बारे में जिसे लड़ा जाए बिना खून बहाए और बिना असत्य का सहारा लिए। बहुत आसान है ये कहना कि सेवाग्राम एक तीर्थ स्थान है, लेकिन उससे भी ज़्यादा मुश्किल है ये सोचना कि महात्मा गांधी यहाँ रहते थे और दिन रात 24 घंटे भारत की आज़ादी के बारे में सोचा करते थे। भारत की आज़ादी अंततः हमें मिली। हो सकता है कि सेवाग्राम एक तीर्थ हो, लेकिन अगर गौर से देखा जाए तो ये किसी की कर्मभूमि भी है, जिसकी परछाई आज भी यहाँ देखी जा सकती है। सेवाग्राम, इस गांव का नाम पहले शी गांव था, जिसे महात्मा गांधी ने सेवाग्राम नाम दिया। महात्मा गांधी ने साबरमती आश्रम से दांडी तक नमक सत्याग्रह शुरू किया था और ये प्रण लिया था कि जब तक स्वतंत्रता नहीं मिलेगी वे साबरमती आश्रम नहीं लौटेंगे। गांधी जी ने शी गांव को अपना घर बनाया और इसे नाम दिया सेवाग्राम। गांधी जी ने स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन से जुड़े बहुत से महत्वपूर्ण कार्य सेवाग्राम से ही किए। यहीं पर सत्याग्रह आंदोलन से संबंधित पहली बैठक की गई थी। जब गांधी जी वर्धा से सेवाग्राम आए थे तो उन्होंने एक अमरूद के पेड़ के नीचे आराम किया। वह अमरूद का पेड़ गांधी जी की पहली कुटी था, जिसे आदि निवास कहा जाता है। उसके बाद आदि निवास में स्थान कम होने के कारण गांधी जी के लिए वहीं एक और कुटिया बनाई गई, जिसे बापू कुटीर कहा जाता है। इस कुटीर के पास एक खास स्थान है, जहां बापू सूर्य स्नान किया करते थे। सेवाग्राम आश्रम में ही स्थित है बा कुटीर, जिसे जमनालाल बजाज ने कस्तूरबा गांधी जी के लिए बनवाया था। यहीं पर स्थित है आखिरी निवास, जिसे जमनालाल बजाज ने स्वयं के लिए बनवाया था, लेकिन वे बहुत कम समय के लिए वहां रहे। सेवाग्राम आश्रम में ही स्थित है प्रार्थना भूमि, जहां बापू अपने साथियों के साथ सायंकाल में प्रार्थना करते थे। इस आश्रम में ही स्थित है एक और कुटीर, जिसे परचूरे कुटीर नाम दिया गया है। आचार्य परचूरे संस्कृत के विद्वान थे। उन्हें कुष्ठ रोग हो गया था। तब गांधी जी ने उनके लिए कुटीर बनवाया और उनकी बहुत सेवा की थी, जिससे वे पूरी तरह स्वस्थ हो गए थे। आश्रम में गांधी जी ने रसोई घर भी बनवाया और जाति धर्म के आधार पर हो रहे भेदभावों को मिटाने के लिए हरिजनों को वहां खाना बनाने का कार्य दिया। संग्रहालय में बापू की टाइप मशीन, अलमारियां, किताबें, खड़ाऊ आज भी सुरक्षित है। आश्रम में ही स्थित है नई तालीम समिति द्वारा बनाया गया विद्यालय आनंद निकेतन। इस विद्यालय में भारतीय संस्कृति, श्रम और पर्यावरण के माध्यम से शिक्षा दी जाती है। सेवाग्राम सेवा का गांव है, जहां महात्मा गांधी की सादगी और सत्यता की महक आज भी आती है। भारत की राजधानी दिल्ली में भी एक तीर्थ स्थल है राजघाट, महात्मा गांधी का स्मारक। दूर से पास से लोग आते हैं यहाँ, शायद बापू को नमन करने, बापू को धन्यवाद कहने। बहुत अच्छा लगता है यहाँ। आप भी आ सकते हैं यहाँ, क्योंकि यहाँ आकर ही महसूस किया जा सकता है। आप भी यहाँ आकर कह सकते हैं कि ऐसा लगता है कि बापू आसपास हैं, हमें देख रहे हैं, हमें समझ रहे हैं। महात्मा गांधी के जीवन वृत्त के आखिरी पड़ाव राजघाट पर हम उन्हें एक श्रद्धापूर्ण नमन करना चाहते हैं।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीता।
राजघाट महात्मा गांधी का समाधि स्थल है, जहां पर उनकी यादों को एक चिन्ह के रूप में हमने संजो कर रखा है। दिल्ली में स्थित है राजघाट। यमुना नदी के पश्चिमी किनारे पर यह समाधि स्थल स्थित है। यहाँ काले संगमरमर से बनी समाधि पर गांधी जी के मुख से निकले अंतिम शब्द हे राम उद्धृत किए गए हैं। देश विदेश से आए लोग और विशिष्ट लोग यहाँ आकर श्रद्धा से नमन करते हैं। गांधी जयंती के अवसर पर राजघाट पर विभिन्न कार्यक्रम आयोजित किए जाते हैं। महात्मा गांधी के समाधि स्थल पर निरंतर जल रही ज्योत उनकी उपस्थिति का आभास कराती है और उनके सुनहरे भारत की कल्पना को साकार करने की प्रेरणा देती है। आज हम हमारी गांधी जी के जीवन वृत्त से जुड़ी यात्रा का राष्ट्रपिता के प्रति शत शत नमन के साथ समापन कर रहे हैं। श्रद्धा के फूल समर्पित हैं उनको। ये यात्रा यहीं खत्म होती है, ऐसा नहीं कहा जा सकता, कभी नहीं कहा जा सकता। बाकी जो बचता है वो है एक कृतज्ञ देश का नमन, शत शत नमन, बापू के लिए, महात्मा के लिए।
तारे अनेक, तारों को अनेक भी कहते हैं। नहीं नहीं, देखो फिर से। सूरज एक, चंदा एक, एक 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 करके तारे भये अनेक। ठीक से समझाओ ना दीदी। देखो एक गिलहरी, पीछे पीछे अनेक गिलहरी। एक 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 करके हो गई अब अनेक तितलियां। समझ गया दीदी? एक उंगली अनेक उंगलियां। हाँ दीदी दीदी, वो देखो अनेक चिड़िया। अनेक चिड़ियों की कहानी सुनोगे? हाँ हाँ। एक चिड़िया करके अनेक चिड़िया। दाना चुगने आई चिड़िया। हमें भी सुनाओ ना। तो सुनो फिर से। एक चिड़िया अनेक चिड़िया, दाना चुगने बैठ गई थी। हाय राम, पर वहाँ व्याध ने एक जाल बिछाया था। व्याध? व्याध कौन दीदी? व्याध चिड़िया पकड़ने वाला। फिर क्या हुआ दीदी? व्याध ने उन्हें पकड़ लिया, मार डाला। हिम्मत से अगर जुटे रहे तो, छोटे हो पर मिले रहे तो, बड़ा काम भी होवे भैया, बड़ा काम भी होवे भैया। 1 2 3। चतुर चिड़िया सयानी चिड़िया, मिलजुल कर जाल लेकर भागी चिड़िया। दूर एक गांव के पास चिड़ियों के दोस्त चूहे रहते थे और उन्होंने चिड़ियों का जाल काट दिया। तो देखा फिर तुमने, अनेक फिर एक हो जाते हैं तो कैसा मजा आता है। दीदी मैं बताऊं? हो गए एक, बन गई ताकत, बन गई हिम्मत। दीदी अगर हम एक हो जाए तो बड़ा काम कर सकते हैं। हाँ हाँ, क्यों नहीं। तो इस पेड़ की आम भी तोड़ सकते हैं। हाँ तोड़ सकते हैं, पर जुगत लगानी होगी। अच्छा, ये जुगत बड़ा मजा आएगा। हिंद देश के निवासी सभी जन एक हैं। हिंद देश के निवासी सभी जन एक हैं। हिंद देश के निवासी सभी जन एक हैं। हिंद देश के निवासी
भारत की संस्कृति में वृक्षों को, वनस्पति जगत को विशेष महत्व दिया गया है। कितने ही उपयोग हैं इन वनस्पतियों के। उनमें से एक है इन वनस्पतियों के विविध भागों जैसे जड़, छाल, फल, फूल, बीज, पत्तों इत्यादि का औषधियों के रूप में उपयोग। तुलसी और नीम के औषधीय उपयोग के बारे में तो आप जानते ही हैं। अच्छा चलिए, आज मैं आपको एक कथा सुनाती हूँ। प्राचीन काल की बात है। तत्कालीन चिकित्सा शास्त्री जीवक गुरुकुल में वनस्पति शास्त्र का अध्ययन कर रहे थे। शिक्षा पूर्ण हुई। गुरु ने परीक्षा के रूप में जीवक से ऐसी वनस्पति खोज कर लाने को कहा जिसमें कोई औषधीय गुण न हो, यानी बेकार हो। जीवक ने बहुत प्रयास किया, लेकिन उन्हें ऐसी कोई वनस्पति नहीं मिली जिसमें कोई औषधीय गुण न हो, यानी बेकार हो। हताश निराश होकर वापस गुरु के पास पहुंचे। गुरु ने कहा, वत्स, आशीर्वाद, तुम्हारी शिक्षा पूर्ण हुई। सचमुच ऐसी कोई गुणहीन वनस्पति तो है ही नहीं। ऐसा अनुमान है कि लगभग 2000 वनस्पतियों के विविध भागों का औषधि के रूप में आज प्रयोग किया जाता है। इसका उल्लेख वैदिक काल से मिलता है। अथर्ववेद में वनस्पतियों के औषधीय गुणों का विस्तृत वर्णन है। इसके बाद के दो प्रमुख ग्रंथ हैं, चरक संहिता और सुश्रुत संहिता। इन ग्रंथों में कुछ ऐसी वनस्पतियों का उल्लेख भी है जो भारतीय मूल की नहीं है। इसका अर्थ ये है कि ये ज्ञान प्राचीन काल में काफी विकसित था और आपस में इस जानकारी का आदान प्रदान भी काफी था। लिखित प्रमाणों के अतिरिक्त ये जानकारी मौखिक परंपरा से भी मिलती है। अनेक जनजातियों, आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में अब भी वनौषधियों का काफी प्रयोग होता है। आज इस क्षेत्र में अनेक अनुसंधान हो रहे हैं। इसके महत्व को देखते हुए हमने आरंभ की है एक श्रृंखला औषधीय वनस्पतियों पर। आपकी जानी पहचानी आसपास की वनस्पतियों में छुपे गुणों से आपका परिचय करवाने के लिए। इस श्रृंखला में आज हम देखते हैं किन गुणों से भरपूर है खजूर। प्राचीन ग्रंथों में खजूर के गुणों का वर्णन अनेक रूपों में किया गया है। सूखे हुए खजूर छुहारे कहलाते हैं। छुहारों का भी अनेक प्रकार से उपयोग किया जाता है। खजूर में लगभग 70% कार्बोहाइड्रेट पाया जाता है। इसके अलावा इसमें प्रोटीन, लोहा, कैल्शियम, फास्फोरस तथा विटामिन ए और बी भी पाए जाते हैं। खजूर का उल्लेख ईसा से लगभग 4000 वर्ष पूर्व से पाया जाता रहा है। यद्यपि ये फल अत्यंत गुणकारी है, पर इसकी पैदावार अभी हमारे देश में कम है। विश्व भर के खजूर उत्पादन का लगभग 1/3 भाग अकेले इराक में ही होता है। इसके अलावा अरब देशों में अफगानिस्तान, दक्षिणी अफ्रीका, मोरक्को, लीबिया, ट्यूनीशिया और पाकिस्तान में भी इसकी खेती की जाती है। आजकल हमारे देश में भी राजस्थान और हरियाणा में खजूर वृक्षों का रोपण एक बड़े पैमाने पर किया जा रहा है।
खजूर की खेती के लिए वैसे स्थान उपयुक्त हैं जहाँ पर कि तापमान 40 डिग्री से अधिक पहुँचता है। ऐसे स्थान राजस्थान में है। राजस्थान में भी जैसलमेर, बीकानेर, चूरू, बाड़मेर और जोधपुर ज़िले इसके लिए उपयुक्त पाए जाते हैं। जैसा कि कहा गया है कि इसके पैर पानी में और सिर आग में रहना चाहिए।
खजूर की खेती को बढ़ावा देने के लिए कई कृषि अनुसंधान केंद्रों में काम हो रहा है। खजूर के अच्छी किस्मों के पौधे अभी अधिक उपलब्ध नहीं हैं। बाहर विदेश से अच्छी किस्म के पौधे मंगाकर खजूर की खेती की जा रही है। इसकी देखरेख की विशेष विधि है।
सरदार सर कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र पर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय ख्याति प्राप्त जहीदी, शामरान, खुनीजी, बरही और हलावी किस्मों को लगाया गया है। इसको लगाते समय एक पौधे से दूसरे पौधे की दूरी 8 मीटर रखी जाती है। इस अधिक दूरी रखने का कारण यह है कि जब पौधा बड़ा होता है तो ऊपर उसका फैलाव होता है ना। एक पौधे से दूसरा पौधा मिल न सके और उसके अंदर धूप का और हवा का बराबर संचार हो। नए पौधे 2 प्रकार से तैयार किए जा सकते हैं, बीज से और शक्कर से, जिनको बोलते हैं बच्चा। बीज से पौधे इसलिए नहीं लगाते कि उसमें आधे नर निकलते हैं और आधे मादा पौधे निकलते हैं। इसलिए खजूर के पौधे लगाने के लिए सबसे अच्छा है कि मादा पेड़ के शक्कर से निकाले जाएं। एक पौधा लगाने के बाद में 4 साल बाद फल देना शुरू करता है और अपनी 40 से 50 वर्ष तक फल देता रहता है। आर्थिक दृष्टि से खजूर का बहुत महत्व है, क्योंकि 1 हेक्टेयर क्षेत्र से 70 से 75 हज़ार रुपये प्रतिवर्ष आमदनी खजूर से ही प्राप्त हो सकती है जबकि अन्य किसी फल से प्राप्त नहीं हो सकती।
ये तो हुआ इस फल का आर्थिक पक्ष। इसके अलावा इसके पत्तों से टोकरी, पंखे और रस्सी वगैरह भी बनते हैं। इसके अलावा खजूर के फल में अनेक औषधीय गुण भी विद्यमान हैं।
क्षतक्षयापहं हृदय शीतलम् अर्पण गुरु रसपाके च मधुरं खरजूर रक्तपित्तजित्।
इसका लैटिन नाम फिनिक्स सिल्वेस्ट्रिस है। इसका फैमिली जो है वो पामी फैमिली का आता है, जो नारिकेल कुल कहते हैं इसको। इसका जो फल होता है वो पिंड खजूर होता है और ये शुरू में हरे वर्ण का होता है, बाद में लाल वर्ण का हो जाता है और सूखने के बाद कुछ कालापन ये होता है, वो छौरा कहलाता है। इसके जो बीज हैं वो नेत्र ज्योति के लिए या नेत्राभिसंध के लिए बकरी के दूध में घस करके उसको लगाया जाता है। खजूर जो होता है उसका प्रयोग रक्त पित्त के लिए विशेष लाभदायक होता है। इसके उपयोग के संबंध में बताया है कि खजूर पोषक, बल एवं मूत्र होता है और यह ज्वर एवं मसूलिका के बाद होने वाले जो कमजोरी होती है उसे यह दूर करता है। इसको दूध में उबाल करके प्रयोग में देते हैं। खजूर से निकलने वाला एक रस होता है जो नीरा कहलाता है। यदि इसका ताज़ा प्रयोग किया जाए तो यह अधिक शरीर को पौष्टिक बनाता है। दंत रोगों में इसके पत्र को उबालकर यदि इसके काढ़े से गंडूस किया जाए तो दंत रोग और दंत कृमि नष्ट होते हैं। सांस और खांसी की बीमारी में इसको पिपली और मुनक्का के साथ मिला करके शहद के साथ चटाने से तत्काल लाभ मिलता है। संग्रहणी रोग जिसे पेप्टिक अल्सर कहते हैं उसमें इसका खजूरासों का प्रयोग किया जाता है। हिचकी बार बार आती है उसमें इसके गुठली को पिपली के चूर्ण में घिसकर बराबर मात्रा में घसकर और शहद के साथ चटाना चाहिए। रक्तपित्त में खजूर का प्रयोग शहद के साथ करना चाहिए। इसके लिए लिखा है हितम च खजूरम फलम समाक्षितम।
सचमुच गुणों से भरपूर है खजूर। आप सब भी तो वनस्पतियों के औषधीय गुणों के बारे में कुछ न कुछ तो अवश्य जानते होंगे। तो क्यों ना अपने घर के और पड़ोस के बड़ों के पास बैठकर उनकी पिटारी या मंजूषा से ऐसी बातें खोज निकालें। पर हाँ, दवा के रूप में इनका प्रयोग ऐसे ही ना करें। किसी जानकार से सही मात्रा और उनके मिश्रण के बारे में परामर्श लेकर ही करें। ये वनस्पतियाँ हमें बहुत कुछ देती हैं। सदियों से इन्होंने हमें दिया ही दिया है। क्या हम उन्हें कुछ नहीं दे सकते? थोड़ा सा सम्मान और प्यार भरा संरक्षण। आइए हम करते हैं अपने वृक्षों को नमन, वंदन और अभिनंदन।
वदान
बच्चे अपने जन्मदिन के अवसर पर ऐसी टोपी पहना करते हैं। अब जरा बताएं कि इस टोपी के आकार की और कौन कौन सी चीज़ें आप अपने आसपास देखते हैं। इस टोपी के आकार की कई चीज़ें हम अपने दैनिक जीवन में अपने आसपास देखते हैं, जैसे यह आइसक्रीम कोन, यह कीप है और इस कीप का ये ऊपरी भाग। इन सभी वस्तुओं में क्या आप बता सकते हैं क्या समानता है? नहीं। देखें, इन सभी वस्तुओं में एक शीर्ष है और एक वृत्तीय आधार है। इस प्रकार की वस्तुओं को शंकु कहते हैं। शंकु के एक शीर्ष होता है और वृत्तीय आधार का एक वक्र पृष्ठ होता है। शंकु के शीर्ष से उसके आधार पर यह लंब है, इसे शंकु की ऊंचाई कहते हैं। इसके वृत्तीय आधार के किसी भी बिंदु से शीर्ष की दूरी शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई होती है। एक शीर्ष होता है, वृत्तीय आधार का एक वक्र पृष्ठ होता है, केंद्र O, त्रिज्या AO बराबर R वाला एक वृत्त है। OC आधार पर लंब है और यह शंकु की ऊंचाई h है। इसके आधार वृत्त के किसी भी बिंदु से शीर्ष की दूरी शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई होती है और इसे L से दर्शाया जाता है। इस आइसक्रीम कोन में कितनी आइसक्रीम आएगी? अब यह जानने के लिए हमें इस आइसक्रीम कोन का आयतन ज्ञात करना होगा। हम बेलन का आयतन ज्ञात करना जानते हैं, याद है आपको? ऐसा बेलन जिसकी ऊंचाई h हो और त्रिज्या r हो, उसका आयतन होता है पाई r की घात 2h। क्या आप जानते हैं कि शंकु और लंब वृत्तीय बेलन में आपस में भी संबंध होता है? नहीं। तो हम आपको आज बताएंगे कि शंकु का आयतन ज्ञात करने के लिए हमें लंब वृत्तीय बेलन की सहायता लेनी पड़ती है। इस जार को देखें, यह एक बेलनाकार जार है और यह एक शंकु है। इस शंकु की ऊंचाई और त्रिज्या वही है जो इस बेलनाकार माप जार की है। अब हम इस शंकु में रेत भरेंगे। और इसे इस बेलनाकार जार में उड़ेल देंगे। हमने इस शंकु में 3 बार रेत भरी और भरकर इसे बेलनाकार जार में उड़ेला और यह पूरे का पूरा भर गया। इस प्रयोग से क्या निष्कर्ष निकला? इस प्रयोग से निष्कर्ष निकला कि समान ऊंचाई और त्रिज्या वाले बेलन का आयतन शंकु के आयतन का 3 गुना होता है, या दूसरे शब्दों में कहें, शंकु का आयतन बेलन के आयतन का 1/3 होता है और बेलन का आयतन क्या होता है? पाई आर की घात 2h। तो शंकु का आयतन क्या हुआ? 1/3 पाई आर की घात 2h। अब हम एक ऐसे शंकु का जिसके आधार की त्रिज्या 35 सेंटीमीटर और ऊंचाई 72 सेंटीमीटर है, उसका आयतन ज्ञात करना सीखेंगे। शंकु की त्रिज्या r बराबर 35 सेंटीमीटर, शंकु की ऊंचाई h बराबर 72 सेंटीमीटर। तो शंकु का आयतन का सूत्र है 1/3 पाई आर की घात 2h। यह हुआ 1/3 पाई का अनुमानित मान 22/7 r 35 गुणा 35 और h 72 सेंटीमीटर। शंकु का आयतन हुआ 92,400 घन सेंटीमीटर। सैनिकों को ठहराने के लिए एक शंक्वाकार तंबू बनाना है। इसे बनाने के लिए कितने कैनवस कपड़े की आवश्यकता होगी? इस प्रश्न का उत्तर हम तभी दे पाएंगे जब हमें इस शंक्वाकार तंबू के वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात होगा। आइए अब हम शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करना सीखें। वृत्त का त्रिज्याखंड OAB लिया और इसकी सीधी कोरों OA और OB को इस तरह से मिलाया कि हमें एक ऐसा शंकु प्राप्त हो सके जिसके आधार का परिमाप इस चाप AB की लंबाई के बराबर हो। इस त्रिज्या इस शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई है। तो शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ त्रिज्याखंड का क्षेत्रफल, और त्रिज्याखंड का क्षेत्रफल होता है 1/2 L गुणा R। 1/2 L हुआ वृत्तखंड की चाप की लंबाई और R वृत्तखंड की त्रिज्या। 1/2 गुणा शंकु के आधार की परिधि गुणा शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई। 1/2 गुणा शंकु के आधार की परिधि 2 पाई r और शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई L। तो हमें प्राप्त हुआ पाई r L। शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ पाई r L। अब हम एक ऐसे तंबू का जो शंकु के आकार का है और जिसकी ऊंचाई 8 मीटर और त्रिज्या 6 मीटर है, इसे बनाने के लिए कितने कैनवस कपड़े की आवश्यकता होगी, इस प्रश्न को हल करेंगे। इस शंक्वाकार तंबू में कितने कैनवस कपड़ा लगेगा, यह ज्ञात करने के लिए हमें इस शंक्वाकार तंबू का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करना होगा। और हम जानते हैं कि शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करने के लिए हमें उसकी त्रिज्या और तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात होनी चाहिए, परंतु प्रश्न में हमारे पास उसकी ऊंचाई है और त्रिज्या है, परंतु तिरछी ऊंचाई नहीं है। अब इसकी तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात करने के लिए इस शंकु को देखें। इस शंकु की ऊंचाई h है, त्रिज्या r है और तिरछी ऊंचाई L है। यह एक समकोण त्रिभुज है। तो शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात करने के लिए हमें पाइथागोरस प्रमेय की सहायता लेनी पड़ेगी और पाइथागोरस प्रमेय से हम इसकी तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात करेंगे। शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल का सूत्र होता है पाई r L। तो शंक्वाकार तंबू का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ पाई का अनुमानित मान 22/7, आर 6 मीटर, तिरछी ऊंचाई 10 मीटर, 1320/7, 188.57 वर्ग मीटर। तो इस शंक्वाकार तंबू को बनाने के लिए 188.57 वर्ग मीटर कपड़ा लगेगा। इस खिलौने की 1 वर्ग मीटर सतह को पेंट कराने की लागत 25 पैसे है। तो इस पूरे खिलौने को पेंट कराने में कुल कितनी लागत आएगी? अब इस प्रश्न का उत्तर हम तभी दे पाएंगे जब हमें वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल के साथ हमें इसके वृत्तीय आधार का क्षेत्रफल भी ज्ञात हो। तो शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल जमा वृत्तीय आधार का क्षेत्रफल। शंकु के वक्र पृष्ठ का क्षेत्रफल होता है पाई आर एल जमा आधार का क्षेत्रफल पाई आर की घात 2। यह हुआ पाई आर एल जमा आर। तो शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ पाई आर एल जमा आर। अब एक ऐसा खिलौना जो शंकु के आकार का है, जिसकी ऊंचाई 28 सेंटीमीटर और त्रिज्या 21 सेंटीमीटर है, इसकी 1 वर्ग सेंटीमीटर सतह को पेंट कराने की लागत 25 पैसे है। तो इस पूरे खिलौने को पेंट कराने में कुल कितनी लागत आएगी, इस प्रश्न को हल करें। शंकु की ऊंचाई h बराबर 28 सेंटीमीटर, शंकु की त्रिज्या r बराबर 21 सेंटीमीटर। जैसा हम जानते हैं कि हमें शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करने के लिए उसकी तिरछी ऊंचाई भी ज्ञात करनी होगी। तो पाइथागोरस प्रमेय की सहायता से हम उसकी पहले तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात करेंगे और तिरछी ऊंचाई L बराबर h की घात 2 जमा r की घात 2 पूरे का वर्गमूल। तो खिलौने की तिरछी ऊंचाई L बराबर हुआ 28 की घात 2 जमा 21 की घात 2 पूरे का वर्गमूल 784 जमा 441 पूरे का वर्गमूल 1225 का वर्गमूल और यह आया 35। तो खिलौने की तिरछी ऊंचाई हुई 35 सेंटीमीटर। शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल का सूत्र है पाई आर एल जमा आर। तो खिलौने का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ पाई का अनुमानित मान 22/7 गुणा 21 गुणा 35 जमा 21 खिलौने का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ 3696 वर्ग सेंटीमीटर। जैसा हम जानते हैं कि प्रश्न के अनुसार 1 वर्ग सेंटीमीटर सतह पेंट कराने की लागत है 25 पैसे। तो 3696 वर्ग सेंटीमीटर सतह पेंट कराने की लागत होगी 3696 गुणा 25 पैसे 92,400 पैसे या 924 रुपये। कई प्रश्न ऐसे होते हैं जिनमें हमें त्रिज्या ज्ञात नहीं होती, केवल आधार का क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात होता है। तो ऐसे प्रश्नों में हम आधार के क्षेत्रफल की सहायता से पहले त्रिज्या ज्ञात करते हैं और उस त्रिज्या की सहायता से प्रश्न के अनुसार शंकु का आयतन, वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल और संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करते हैं। आइए एक इसी तरह के प्रश्न को देखें। एक लंबवृत्तीय शंकु के आधार का क्षेत्रफल 78.5 वर्ग मीटर है और इसकी ऊंचाई 12 मीटर है, तो इसका आयतन, वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल और संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करना है। शंकु के आधार का क्षेत्रफल पाई आर की घात 2 और वह हमें प्रश्न के अनुसार दिया है 78.5। पाई का मान 3.14 गुणा आर की घात 2 बराबर 78.5। आर की घात 2 बराबर 78.5 बटा 3.14 बराबर 785/10 गुणा 100/314। आर की घात 2 बराबर 25, तो आर बराबर 25 का वर्गमूल, 25 का वर्गमूल हुआ 5, तो हमें त्रिज्या प्राप्त हुई 5 मीटर। अब प्रश्न में हमारे पास त्रिज्या है और उसकी ऊंचाई है, परंतु तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात नहीं है। तो अब हम पाइथागोरस प्रमेय की सहायता से पहले शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात करेंगे। शंकु की त्रिज्या दी हुई है 5 मीटर। शंकु की ऊंचाई h बराबर 12 मीटर। तो शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई L बराबर h की घात 2 जमा r की घात 2 पूरे का वर्गमूल। तो L हुआ 12 की घात 2 जमा 5 की घात 2 पूरे का वर्गमूल। 12 की घात 2 144, 5 की घात 2 25 पूरे का वर्गमूल। 169 का वर्गमूल। तो शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई 13 मीटर। तो आपने देखा कि प्रश्न में हमें त्रिज्या ज्ञात नहीं थी। हमने आधार के क्षेत्रफल की सहायता से पहले त्रिज्या ज्ञात की और उसके पश्चात हमारे पास त्रिज्या और ऊंचाई थी, तो हमने उसकी तिरछी ऊंचाई ज्ञात की। अब हम प्रश्न के अनुसार पहले उसका आयतन ज्ञात करेंगे। शंकु का आयतन का सूत्र है 1/3 पाई आर की घात 2 h। 1/3 पाई का दिया हुआ मान 3.14, आर 5 गुणा 5 और h 12। 3.14 गुणा 100 314 घन मीटर। अब हम शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करेंगे। शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल का सूत्र है पाई आर एल। तो प्रश्न के अनुसार हुआ पाई का मान 3.14, आर 5 और एल 13। 204.10 वर्ग मीटर। अब हम शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल ज्ञात करेंगे। शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल का सूत्र है पाई आर एल जमा आर। पाई का दिया हुआ मान 3.14, आर 5, एल 13, आर 5, 3.14 गुणा 5 गुणा 18, 282.60 वर्ग मीटर। आज हमने जाना कि किसी भी शंक्वाकार वस्तु जिसकी त्रिज्या और ऊंचाई हमें ज्ञात हो तो उसकी तिरछी ऊंचाई, उसका आयतन, वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल और संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल किस प्रकार ज्ञात किया जाता है। आइए इसके सूत्रों को एक बार फिर से देख लें। शंकु का आयतन 1/3 पाई गुणा शंकु के आधार की त्रिज्या का वर्ग गुणा शंकु की ऊंचाई, यह हुआ 1/3 पाई आर की घात 2 एच। शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई L बराबर h की घात 2 जमा r की घात 2 पूरे का वर्गमूल। शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल पाई गुणा शंकु के आधार की त्रिज्या गुणा शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई, तो यह हुआ पाई आर एल। तो शंकु का वक्र पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल है पाई आर एल। संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल पाई गुणा शंकु के आधार की त्रिज्या गुणा शंकु की तिरछी ऊंचाई जमा त्रिज्या पाई आर एल जमा आर। तो शंकु का संपूर्ण पृष्ठीय क्षेत्रफल हुआ पाई आर एल जमा आर।
One of the most vital discoveries made by man, a discovery that made a difference between darkness and light, or even life and death. The flame was perhaps one of the first chemical reactions recognized, controlled and harnessed by man, a chemical reaction in which energy is released in the form of heat and light. Every single example of flame that we see here begins with carbon or a carbon compound. The carbon compound, such as methane, combines with oxygen in the air to produce an oxide of carbon, that is carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide, along with water. And each of these reactions results in the liberation of energy in the form of heat and light. Such chemical reactions in which heat is released along with the formation of products are known as the exothermic reactions. However, for an exothermic reaction to occur, it is not necessary that we have only carbon or its compound as one of the reactants. Let us perform an experiment to prove this. Wasn't that dramatic? The reaction of sodium metal with water is an exothermic reaction. That is, a reaction in which heat is released. This experiment should be carried out very carefully because the piece of sodium metal can splutter when dropped into water. And to prevent this, we should take a very small piece of sodium metal for this experiment. In fact, sodium metal is very reactive. It reacts even with a trace of moisture present around. And for this very reason, it is always stored under kerosene or coated with wax. The reaction of sodium metal with water is an exothermic reaction. That is, a reaction in which heat is released. There are reactions of the opposite kind. These are the reactions in which energy is absorbed in the form of heat. These reactions are called endothermic reactions. Let us observe one such reaction. Now let's take some citric acid into the conical flask. And measure its temperature. It's 16 degrees Celsius. And now let's add some baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, commonly used at our homes. Are you observing the reaction occurring? Brisk effervescence are coming out. And now let's also see what's the temperature. So we can say the temperature is 12.5 degrees Celsius. And as the temperature has come down during this reaction, this indicates that heat was absorbed during the reaction between citric acid and sodium bicarbonate, and hence this is a endothermic reaction. Now let us observe few more interesting examples of exothermic and endothermic reactions. All these experiments can be carried out very easily in the chemistry lab of your school. Observe each of the experiment very carefully, particularly the precautions being taken. Let us observe a reaction between ethanoic acid and sodium carbonate now. Ethanoic acid is commonly used as vinegar at home, also known as acetic acid, and sodium carbonate is used as washing soda. Let's take the temperature, and the temperature of ethanoic acid is 20 degrees Celsius. Now let's see what happens when we add sodium carbonate, the washing soda. Again brisk effervescence. And what about the temperature? The temperature has risen. It is 21 degrees Celsius. This means that heat was evolved during the reaction between ethanoic acid and sodium carbonate. Hence, this is an exothermic reaction.
Let us now observe a reaction between calcium oxide, that is quicklime or chuna that we use for whitewashing, with water. much heat is generated during the reaction that water starts boiling. It is an exothermic reaction.
Let's do one more reaction. We have dilute hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. Dilute hydrochloric acid in the conical flask and sodium hydroxide in the beaker. Let's take the temperature. The temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. We should always wash the thermometer before dipping into another solution. And the temperature of sodium hydroxide, it is also 20 degrees Celsius. Now, let's mix the base with the acid and measure the temperature. I can feel the conical flask getting warm and the temperature is rising very sharply. It has moved to 36 degrees Celsius. That means, again, the heat was evolved during the reaction, and the reaction of hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid, with the base is an exothermic reaction. Now, let us observe another reaction between potassium permanganate and glycerine. Before doing the reaction, we'll have to powder potassium permanganate so that the reaction is fast. Look, it has caught fire. It is a very dangerous experiment, and under no circumstances you should carry it out alone without your teacher's assistance. The burning or oxidation of a metal is also an exothermic reaction. Let's observe burning of magnesium ribbon. Magnesium ribbon always hold the ribbon away from you. See how it burns with a dazzling white flame, forming ashes of magnesium oxide. Never look directly into the flame of burning magnesium. We have observed a number of exothermic reactions. Now let us observe some endothermic reactions. Endothermic reactions are relatively less common.
The reaction between potassium chloride and ammonium nitrate is an endothermic reaction. Let us mix the two salts, potassium chloride and ammonium nitrate, and stir and observe the change in temperature. As the reaction is between two solids, we have to take care that the two reactants are nicely powdered. And to enhance the reaction, we can add a drop or two of water. The beaker has become too cold to touch. Now let us observe what's the change in temperature. The temperature has already dipped to approximately -2 degrees Celsius. It is an endothermic reaction. Let us try another experiment. This time we will take barium hydroxide and ammonium nitrate in the ratio 2:1. The temperature of barium hydroxide powder is 17 degrees Celsius. The temperature of ammonium nitrate is also 17 degrees Celsius. Let us mix the two powders and observe what happens. Barium hydroxide and ammonium nitrate in the ratio 2:1. Stir the mixtures and observe what happens. The beaker is becoming cold. The temperature has already dropped to below -10 degrees Celsius. It's an endothermic reaction.
We have seen certain reactions which are exothermic and others which are endothermic. Some of them were really spectacular, isn't it? Now we should understand why heat is absorbed or evolved during a reaction. For this, we should first try and understand how a reaction occurs. During a chemical reaction, atoms of one element do not change into those of another element, nor do atoms disappear from the mixture or appear from elsewhere. Actually, chemical reactions involve the breaking and then reformation of bonds between atoms to produce new substances. Let us take the example of the complete combustion of a carbon compound, methane. Methane combines with oxygen, producing carbon dioxide and water. The methane molecule consists of a carbon atom bonded to 4 hydrogen atoms. Oxygen has 2 oxygen atoms bonded to each other by a double bond. During the reaction of methane with oxygen, carbon-hydrogen bonds of methane break and oxygen-oxygen bonds of oxygen also break. Then, new bonds are formed between carbon-oxygen and hydrogen-oxygen to give the products of the reaction. To break a bond, that is, to pull two atoms apart, energy is required, whereas when the two atoms combine together, energy is released. Now, during a reaction, if the energy released is much more than the energy required to break the bond, the excess energy is released to the surroundings and we call such a reaction as an exothermic reaction. On the other hand, there are reactions in which the energy required to break the bonds is much more than the energy released during formation of the bonds. In such reactions, the energy is absorbed from the surroundings, and so the temperature of the surroundings drops. Such reactions are the endothermic reactions. We have now understood why certain reactions are exothermic while others are endothermic. Let us briefly summarize what all we have learned. We have also observed many exothermic and endothermic reactions. Do learn to perform these experiments, but be extremely careful while handling apparatus and chemicals. And most importantly, do all these experiments under the supervision of your teacher only. Happy experimenting!
क्या बचपन इस प्रदूषण में सुरक्षित है?
मित्रों, आपको हमारे कार्यक्रम कैसे लगे? आप अपनी प्रतिक्रियाएं और सुझाव हमें भेज सकते हैं। हमारा पता है किशोर मंच, CIET NCERT, श्री अरविंदो मार्ग, नई दिल्ली 110016। आप हमें ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं। हमारा ईमेल पता है ciet.kishormanch@gmail.com और हमारे टोल फ्री नंबर हैं 1800111265 और 1800112199।